In 5, 4. There we go. We're live now. Yeah. Welcome everybody back to Shadow Crazy Entertainment. This is the He Who Rules the Shadows podcast, WrestleMania edition. This is our post show. You watched our pre-show last week. Appreciate y'all, all 21 watchers, for watching that video. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Now we're back with the post show. It's been a good, solid week in between. And ever since last Monday, up until last night, has been nothing short of nuts. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and go through all of our guests today, starting with the man to my left. There you go.
So obviously, you all know me from last episode. I am casually cosplaying, also go by Nick, Casual, Kaz, all those nicknames. Cosplayer, love Marvel, DC, Star Wars, pretty much anything nerdy I'll jump on board with. And like Shadow, I got back into wrestling a few years ago. So I know you can hear my full intro last episode, so I'll pass it on over to Joe.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. We are here at the Thunderdome. We are ready. I have my coffee creamers, my fanny pack, my infinite amount of shaking ropes violently as possible and grabbing people probably mildly inappropriately before slamming them down. It is me, Joe Tonello, also known as Showa Guy Joe, because I do a lot of tokusatsu stuff, which is this in the background. All this has been acquired because I have been left alone to my own devices, and Will has yet to stop me. By the way, that's Will. I'm also a co-host on his show.
How do I get pulled into this?
Yes.
This is what happens when I introduce you, as opposed to you introducing me.
That is very true. Hey guys, Black Spartan here. And yes, apparently I'm responsible for Joe's purchases, but I guess that's on him. What's that to say? Wrestling fans since I've been able to watch it. Blurred of all things. Anything that's got video games, violence, or questionable material, that's pretty much where you can find me. So that's about it.
I love that intro. That perfectly sums up, I think, all of us, honestly. Guys, what a weekend. So I know for me, for casually for Joe, we did watch parties. So first Saturday night was me and casually at his place. And you know, the hype was real, man. I've heard people say Saturday wasn't that good, or it was okay, but Sunday was better. Like, no, bro, the whole weekend matches the same energy.
Absolutely.
Right. we were jumping up and screaming on Sunday night the same way that we were screaming on Saturday night. And hell, I only had an hour and 33 minutes of sleep from the moment I get off work. I had to get up. It was my mom's MS walk. Go support and do research for multiple sclerosis, MS. Go check that out, guys. Shout out to my mother, who's lived with it for well over a decade. We did the MS walk, and I got there. And had to walk a long walk, and my walk, I felt like I was walking out like the final boss. Just like, man, I don't want to be here. Like, I'm just in that final boss mode. And so I get there, we're having a good time. We walk for like half a mile, get her taken care of, come back. And I cut a promo while I was there. I posted them on the page. I was like, yeah, Nashville, we stand with Cody Rhodes. It's WrestleMania weekend. Let me talk to you. Whoa. And so did it. They went to get something to eat. I came home. My intention was to take a nap, but I was like, yo, it's time for Stand and Deliver. I'm going to just lay on my couch, pray that I don't fall asleep. I'm gonna go ahead and watch this show real quick. And luckily I didn't fall asleep. I did nod off a couple of times, but I managed to see everything. Stand and Deliver was excellent. That was just the start. That was the start, of that amazing weekend. Joe, you get?
I have a question. Since you were at this MS walk, walking around like the final boss, which of these poor people did you tell don't count on the effing boss or I'll fire you?
Well, I hadn't known he was gonna do that yet, so I didn't say that. But now I'm gonna use that eventually when I have employees, like, hey,
No
Go.
count outs.
you can do this. Get fired. But and so Wife Deliver, it was great. And then went over to Cassidy's house. We got some pizza. We watched it, and then we all went over to our friend Phil's house. Shout out to Tennessee Ghostbusters. Shout out to Phil. And it was his birthday. We celebrated his birthday on Sunday, and we watched. So if Saturday, and we'll get to it, if Saturday was WrestleMania Infinity War, Sunday was WrestleMania Endgame. And being able to watch those two back to back, just priceless, man. How y'all feeling about the 2 nights all together? Talk to me, guys.
I'm glad that analogy. We didn't have to wait 4 months in between.
We'll get into more in depth of how I feel about Cody and how it all turned out when we get to the main event discussion.
Yeah.
Because not only is it Avengers Infinity War Endgame, so I found on Twitter that it's actually more Star Wars, which I'll get into detail when we get up to that.
Okay.
But going forward, obviously we could start with Stand and Deliver, but overall, just fantastic weekend. Friday kicked it. I mean, really, last Monday kicked it off with Raw, and then SmackDown on Friday, pushing into obviously the Hall of Fame, which was absolutely fantastic. The one true, speech that killed it was absolutely Paul Heyman's.
Oh yeah.
I will say the only thing I'm a little worried about is how they did Muhammad Ali. It didn't feel 100% right to me. It kind of felt like, let's have his widow come out and sure, give her his ring that he's supposed to get. But you literally brought her out just so that way you could have her give The Rock a belt.
Pretty much.
It's The Rock making himself shake his own hand.
Basically, don't get me wrong, I've heard Dwayne Rock Johnson is nothing but a very good person, has helped out multiple people. I'm sure hundreds, if not thousands of people, he's given back to. But this man, I hate to say it because he seems like such a nice guy, and from what I've heard from people meeting him, he has the biggest ego in Hollywood that I know of. Yeah, like Shadow was telling me that that he's got a contract in all of his movies that he can't be hit a certain amount of times. Like, it's ridiculous that this man has to be like, no, I'm invincible.
I love that.
The wild part is that you mentioned that. It's like the whole handoff. Like, I get it. You wanted to kind of say, well, I was saying the people's champ while Muhammad Ali was still alive, but I didn't want to be disrespectful because he was the first person to say it. Right. So, and of course, I get that. So the intention was great, but the handoff was terrible. The handoff was so terrible. You could see them fast forwarding to like, okay, and we're cutting to the next part.
Yeah.
That's like, you had it could have been done better.
And he's had that story before. He's told that story before of meeting Muhammad Ali and getting his blessing for saying the name. Do you really need a fucking belt for it to say, I'm the people's champ, guys, even though you're booing me right now, because right now I'm Hollywood Rock heel. I'm still the people's champ. Like Cody, first of all, right now is the people's champ.
But that's the crazy part, though. That's what I think was the problem, was it didn't fit the final boss angle. Now, if he wasn't the final boss, it would have went over a little bit better because you're still seen as the face. But when you're the bad guy who just 4 days ago was whipping the crap out of Cody Rhodes on Raw, and you're at the Hall of Fame now calling yourself the People Champ, it's not going to jive well with the fans.
Especially after, he called Philly a bunch of trailer trash like he usually does with every other city he goes to now. He's called the South Hillbillies.
Yep.
And any other ones that you can remember?
He eviscerated Oklahoma. Oklahoma was fentanyl fans.
Oh yeah, bro. He went in. That's the one part.
They actually had to corporately apologize for that.
Yeah, that's the one part of the whole Final Boss Solid Hollywood Rod thing I didn't necessarily like. I get you were trying to invoke the Attitude Era on a lot of your promos you were cutting, talking about the people and all this stuff. But you could have done the whole Final Boss thing without coming out like a complete dick. Like, I get it. Trash talk the people, trash talk the thing, but fentanyl is a big issue right now.
Yeah.
That could have been done better while still invoking Attitude Era stuff, while not like going full just you're a total complete piece of shit. Now, mind you, obviously all of that built up into everything that happened. It just, I feel like it could have been done better. It was very tasteless to an extent, So that being said, his goddamn intro, man.
Ugh.
That man's intro, bro, when he now, how do you make Black Lightning better here in wrestling than your actual movie? I've been saying that the whole time that he's been coming back. Your intro,
the
lightning strikes.
We knew he wasn't going to cut it as Black Adam.
Yeah, the lightning strikes, and then the solid darkness, and then poof, the light. You're there. That's a me move, bro. That's a Shadow King move.
It's an Undertaker move.
I'm stealing that.
But the
I
intro
wonder
itself
that's why Undertaker came out. Is because he stole his entrance.
Pretty much.
Not only that, but you have the pre-show behind. I think it was behind CM Punk. There's a sign that just said "Black Adam sucked."
But it's the thing about it, though. It's like the intro itself was great, and don't get me wrong. For a story that with the whole booking of Rhodes and Roman, The Rock being there did have a different element. It did have to amp it up. And a lot of people got mad, but it's like, okay, The Rock tried to insert himself, tried to make it him versus Roman, and not realizing that, for a lot of people, you are just now getting used to what we call booking that you need to wait a day later for. Because at first, it's the shock value. Second, it's the pivot. So it's like the whole thing of we want Cody. I said, people don't realize, The Rock's trying to step in. No. The whole idea was to pump up Rhodes to the point to where he's so super over that they got, the company has no choice but to right the ship. All you basically did was take the spotlight on Cody and magnify it 100 times better. So there is a plan in that.
I feel like it was unnecessary, though. I feel like Cody was always over with the fans. Like,
I agree.
Now that we've seen the end result,
is just like,
Well, now that we've seen the end result of how everything was done, adding him into that plan, where you think, okay, yeah, he's with his family, but we know The Rock. Is he going to stay with his family? Is he actually going to acknowledge? Is he going to portray him? Does he actually really want to fight his cousin? Now that we know the end result and how, and apparently they've been, Hunter said, stuff like this has been booked towards back in October, and they have a documentary coming out that says, January 1st, 2024. Hey, we sat down and we want to talk about this, and so having him come back and set up the whole, I feel like I want to go eat. I feel like I want to go eat at the head of the table. That sets you off and like, oh wait, hold up, is he going to try to fight Roman?
He's just making a domination again.
Yeah, and then went, and then Cody wins, and then it's like, oh well, that's out of the bag. Cody's won. It's definitely going to be him and Roman too. We're going to get it popping this time, and then I don't know whose idea it was, but all of them have to be together with this, in a room talking about how can we make this happen. For Cody to come out and say, "Hey, Roman, it's going to be me and you again. I want that title, but not right now." And then Rock's music hits that perfectly, adding onto that storytelling. It was like, oh, what, Cody's giving up? No. And then what happened immediately? We want Cody. We want Cody. Cody Crybabies. Cody was already over. Cody is already the guy. Now, just like Dominic Mysterio has unlimited ultimate heat with boos that drown him out, Cody, the woes are even bigger. The story is like, yo, okay, The Rock's in this now. You have to finish the story. How are you going to do it? It just added more to it. And then, of course, because at that point when Rock came out, he wasn't Final Boss yet. He was, just The Rock. I'm the guy who left and came back, but I'm still here. I'm The Rock. Then you see the switch.
Mm-hmm.
You see the switch of
You
after
talked about my family.
After Vegas and after the smack, you see the switch and it's like, oh, this is gonna be something different. Okay. But let's hold that off for right now. I know we got it's gonna be a lot to talk about as far as that particular story. I want to run down quickly. We won't spend an hour on it this time. Yeah, go ahead.
Got one thing to add. The moment The Rock presents Roman with a picture of himself, we all know what that means, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's a picture of you, and by you I mean me.
Somewhere Ron Simmons is going, you son of a bitch.
No, we all know what Ron Simmons is going to say. Everybody together. 3, 2, 1.
Damn.
So real quick, and since Nick has the list, we'll let him do it.
Yep.
Just run down the list. So NXT Stand and Deliver had over 16,000 fans filling up Wells Fargo. Excellent matchups, and winners who I wanted to win, and one change up that was I guess rectified or made something better this past Tuesday. Nick, go ahead and tell us all the matches.
So first up on my list here, we have Ilya versus Tony D'Angelo. I know, Shadow, you and I both said we wanted Tony to win, but Ilya won. Obviously, we saw how that played out. I believe it was yesterday, or was it Monday first, right? Didn't Ilya come out?
Yeah, Monday. So Ilya came out, which the pop for that, like even just for me, I was like, "Yo, what? NXT in the house? Let's go!" And I feel like with the draft coming up, having those new champions show up, showcase what they can do. That's going to tie into the draft, but we'll definitely talk about that a little later. He came in and beat, what was it? Who was it?
Was it Big Bronson Reed or no?
No. He came in and beat Shinsuke Nakamura.
That's what it was.
Ross, Shinsuke Nakamura,
Yeah. He beat the man. He beat the king of strong style with I guess Russian strong style. So that was a thing in itself. Beautiful. Yes, I wanted Tony to win because I think a Tony-led NXT as far as the whole Don thing would be excellent storytelling. But I do believe I know what's about to happen, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Go ahead to the next one.
So next one we have Oba versus John Briggs versus I know you had to get it out. Versus Dijak. I said I wanted Dijak to win. Do you know who you said? I can't remember if you said you won.
I think I went for Oba just because he's still relatively new and being able to do what he's done in the very short time he's been here. Retain against Dragon Lee, retain against two big beefy guys like that. Where also shout out to Josh
beefy
Briggs,
men slapping meat.
Pretty much, yeah. Shout out to Josh Briggs, who's sidelined for a minute. He did suffer 3 cracked ribs in that match, so he's gonna be out for a little bit. But I mean, he put on the show. For him going solo now, to be able to be up against someone like Dijak, someone got like Oba and stand on his own, he put on a show. And I think that's going to catapult him forward. If what JBL saw in him, he is showing to the rest of us, and I really appreciate that from him. So,
he so needs a new fresh coat of paint. You can't. The whole the Man of Mayhem thing. I'm
because basically he looked like Dijak Light in that match. Both got black on. He could have kept the whole country thing and made it his own. I understand why they switched it up, but yeah, I agree. A new coat of paint. Now with Oba retaining, he comes out last night. You're like, hey, I had a vision. I knew I was gonna be right here. Still, and who should come out?
Ivar.
Didn't expect this at all. I'm thinking it'd be someone from the actual roster or maybe Dragon Lee trying to get. Nah, bro. Motherfucking Ivar comes out. Who, by the way, has been on an amazing solo run in on the Raw. I hate that his partner got injured. But
I mean, his part has been injured for a while.
yeah, well, no, well, he got injured, but then he had surgery. So surgery, he'd been out for a good minute.
Okay.
But he has been on an amazing big man meaty meat solo run, and I love it. And what he did to Oba Femi since coming in, since the breakout tournament has not ever been laid on his back for more than like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Ivar dropped that man hard last night, bro.
What I found weird is I've never seen Ivar out of his
Yeah, it was
gear.
so weird.
And I was like, whoa. Is this like biker, like Thor Ivar
It's
now?
like the Viking was on. It's like the Viking decided to go ride the Sturgis and forgot his gear. That's what it felt like. I'm like,
They
don't
need
get
to
me wrong.
go ahead and give him like Thor inspired armor and give him a hammer and just be done with it.
Oh, just enough not to involve the lawyers. But
Yeah, just involving Lord. Yeah, like
Well,
yeah.
the God of
did
War
like
lawyers, not the Marvel lawyers.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was great to see Ivar. I agree with Shadow. He really should be getting a lot more shine. I mean, a big man that can. I mean, the fact that between him, Dijak, and maybe Oba and Briggs, you have big men who are heavyweights that move like cruiserweights.
Yeah,
and the things that he can do,
even Bronson Reed,
man.
Yeah,
even Bronson Reed. And it's the fact that even Ivar said it, like, man, like I was sitting there watching that match, and I was like, bro, that's a bunch of big men fighting, and I want to be a part of it. And I'm like, we like that,
exactly.
Just look at what we've seen with with Otis and like I said, Ben Bronson Reed. We like seeing heavyweights that can surprise everyone and move not like heavyweights. And so I feel like in this new era, which we'll definitely get to a little later, we're going to see a lot more of that. And I think this is the beginning of it.
Oh, it's a lot more.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. We're so used to seeing stiff big man matches, and now you're actually seeing them get to move. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
If you're as big as Ivar and can move like Ricochet, you're a problem.
Yeah.
We're starting to see like a resurgence in like the Bam Bam Bigelow Vader style men, where they just go.
Yeah.
And
it's
Otis.
They can go and they can maneuver, which is like the thing with Ivar. I kind of don't get with sometimes. Like I've seen him cartwheel, I just don't think I've seen enough of him. But when I see him, I don't think as agile as what you guys are making it out to be. But then again, I've only seen very limited Ivar. It's Otis I'm more looking at than Ivar.
You have not seen Ivar do a basement crossbody. That is,
man,
for a guy his size and weight to do a low momentum crossbody, and I mean it is smooth. And on top of that, his moonsault. Again, this is a 300+ pound guy doing
he's doing a Vader
full moonsault. That is unheard of.
Yeah, man.
Vader.
Well, it's not a Vader, but Vader was almost 400 though. And at the same time, since Vader, when's the last time you've seen a big man since him do a moonsault?
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Still same era. When's the last time you see? I'm not to say that we are trying to pinpoint, but we're saying that it's a resurgence of it is what I'm getting.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely a resurgence of it. My only problem in this entire thing is that we do not have Big E here handing off the big man meaty meat title, which should be a title.
It really should be a title.
Again, I'll bring it up again on the podcast. I feel like I'm going to bring it up every podcast. I want Big E to come back as the New Day's manager. I understand,
or someone else's manager. Well, somebody's manager.
I understand. We have to protect him. We can't have him do anything within ring or be even in the presence of somebody flying towards him out of the ring. I understand that.
Oh,
put him back with Xavier and put him back with with Kofi. They're brothers. They need to be back together.
I mean, getting to see him really do the intro at the Hall of Fame, I was like, I missed that.
Yeah, that was great.
I miss his
energy.
Was perfect. And maybe he will. I mean, honestly, we're seeing more of him now, especially with all the PLE events. He's on the panel for the opening countdown. He's doing a lot more. So I feel like, especially in this again new era, we'll talk about later, we will see more of him, just as much as he wants to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for what's all coming. Go ahead to the next match.
We have Lyra versus Roxanne Perez, and of course, our girl,
My baby won a
Roxanne.
match. Now, do not get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I have loved Valkyria's run. She is an amazing wrestler. Amazing talent all around. And I like what they've been doing with Tatum. Obviously, what we talked about didn't happen, didn't happen Saturday. I'll get into that in a minute. But we knew, we wanted Roxy to win. Yes, I wanted her to win because she needs to get her title back. Two, she's definitely. I mean, her 2 years in right now, she's up there almost at the same bracket as Braun and Carmelo being the best of the best. So the draft to SmackDown and Raw is imminent for her. I definitely believe that. And exactly what I said would happen, which it happened in a better way night two at WrestleMania with Drew, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But the karma for everything Roxy has done in her, I don't need nobody else phase. It's bump the big three. It's just big me type ish. You win, yeah. Now everyone's coming for your ass. So you've been talking all this shit, and the first person, Natty comes after you again.
Yeah.
And if Lola hadn't come in and did what she did, Roxy would have lost last night.
Yeah.
And so that just goes to show, hey, yeah, you won. You got your title that you never lost back, but karma is coming for your ass. And I mean, I kind of wish I was karma right now, but anyway. But no, she won. She did it, and obviously the match was great. Tatum did interfere, but it didn't really cost because she didn't really do much. But last night, here comes Valkyria. Baby, obviously your arm's been through it on Saturday. It's already been through it 2 weeks beforehand. What made you think you was actually gonna be able to do it one more again? And so here comes Tatum. Like, hey, you're not the champion anymore, and the switch. So like we wanted. We talked last week about it being now Lyra against Tatum. And so that's going to be a thing coming up, which I don't see it as a full psychotic break, but something did snap in Tatum, and I think that's going to cause. Also, again, it's long-term storytelling for her just being in the background, for her being by Lyra's side on accident, to Lyra accepting it, to Lyra actually being admired by it, to now. It's been betrayed. So again, long-term storytelling. I think I'm going to definitely enjoy what they're going to do with that next. So
see, this is probably where I'm going to be on the opposite side of that. Is that I think this is a way for Tatum to get the spotlight, but also Valkyria to be written off TV for a while. Because I can't see it as long running just because if she's injured, it's probably going to be one good match to where she puts her out for a while and that Paxley steps on her own. I'm completely okay with that.
Yeah.
The thing is, and I say this all the time, Paxley does have a look. Paxley before she came to NXT can wrestle. What I'm worried about is that will that persona that she has actually add up to where she connects with the fans?
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, we just have to wait and see, but I think last night definitely gave it a tiny push.
Oh yeah, it definitely got her. It definitely got. I mean, same thing like with Trick and Hayes. I mean, it only takes one moment for the crowd to get behind you.
Absolutely.
I just hope it's in that match with Valkyria though, because I mean that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think depending on how they play it out, if they do decide to write her off for a minute to let her heal and chill. One, that gives her a break and gives her a chance to be able to come back stronger. And of course, I think she's definitely worthy of a second run, or at least given to somebody else. But yeah, I think that would definitely be able to push Tatum as that. Not quite like Joe Gacy, what they're doing with him right now, but as that kind of like femme fatale who would just do whatever she wants, and if she gets attached to you, it's either good for you or bad for you.
Right.
So I'm interested to see where it's gonna go, and Tatum's fine as hell anyway. And that's the whole thing. Next match, please.
Next match is the
rematch
rematch of the Dusty Cup, which then yesterday turned into a round 3, if you will. Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus the Wolf Dogs, Braun Breaker, and Baron Corbin.
The superheroes of NXT got what they wanted the night after. Let me talk to you. So Braun Breaker, and we talked about this, off screen and everything, but Braun Breaker is a just amazing and ultimate talent. He's a
generational.
He's a third, fourth,
third generation.
Third generation talent, and he's just the ultimate beast. And his solo runs have been great. His badass, heel run was great. And tagging with Baron Corbin, putting Baron over mostly, because you didn't need to put Braun over. Braun is already over, whether the fans like him or not. He put Baron Corbin over. That's something that no one could have. Not even JBL did that. So
JBL with all the tricks in the world couldn't do what Corbin couldn't do what Breaker did in 2 months.
Yeah, and
so obviously we have on Saturday, on Stand and Deliver, Wolf Dogs win, but then come yesterday, we have Axiom and Nathan Frazier taking the belts. Not the cups, thankfully, but yeah.
And there's a reason for that. Yes, you gave Baron Corbin a chance to 1, win gold again, 2, win the Dusty Cups, which is something he missed in his time at NXT. From what I've learned, you gave Braun a chance at another run with gold for a minute, and something he's never done, I believe, before is his tag. And now that he is firmly stated, on SmackDown, this gives him a chance. This whole weekend gave him a chance. 1, winning at PLE at Stand and Deliver keeps his streak of being undefeated at that event. He's the NXT Undertaker. No one can beat his streak now because he's not there anymore. And so now you have him firmly feet planted on SmackDown. Even when the draft happens, I don't think he's going anywhere. I feel like his place would be SmackDown.
He's still newer, I would say, yeah.
And so so then you come to NXT Tuesday night, Axiom, Nathan Frazier, who, and true to what they've said, in each of their matches, they have given these two big meatheads a run for their money. You've basically got the Flash, and I'm gonna just say the Flash and the Green Ranger versus if we had to give Baron a villain name, who would it be? Like he's tall, lanky, tall built.
He's like Lex Luthor. He's just a taller Lex Luthor at this point.
Yeah. So
tell me why I was thinking Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I'm sorry, Baron.
Doofenshmirtz without the hair. Yes.
A wrestler.
Yes.
Barry the wrestler.
So tall Lex Doofenshmirtz, we'll call him that, and Braun Breaker. It's literally it's just the I'm gonna just call him a Hulk. Like he's World Breaker Hulk. So you got these heroes, you got these heroes going against these villains, and each time they've gone against them in the Dusty Cup, they've come this close. This Saturday, they came this close. They pushed these two other talents to the limit, and one, with the way that Axiom and Nathan Frazier came together, they are friends. They fought against each other for several titles. They fought against each other just to test each other's skill, and that brought them together closer as friends. And with the stipulation of, hey, I want this again. but if we don't make it, we can't tag together ever again. Like it's just obviously not going to work.
Yeah.
And here you are coming in. It's the night after San Living. It's the night after Mania. We all know, everyone in the universe know where Braun is headed, and so now his streak is undefeated. We all know he's headed to SmackDown. Now is the perfect time to pass those titles over. And in this new era going forward, in this new thing, you couldn't have picked two better people. Because in the roster, I mean, those who are not from SmackDown, all you have is, I guess now Stax and Crucifino, Idris and Ofe, and Frazier and Axiom. I don't think any of the other ones are from NXT. I think they're from. Oh no! Well, we got Tank and Hank, but they're not. No,
right.
No.
I hate to say that they're kind of throwaways right now.
They really are. They are just people who are there to get smashed.
Yeah.
So there's no other team there perfect to be the measuring stick now going forward. And I definitely hope their reign lasts for a good little while. I hope the reigns that all won this week last for a very decent amount of time. Because they definitely deserve it. So that's the tag teams in NXT are giving the ones on the main branches runs for their money. I think that's going to definitely put them forward in the next couple of years. So how you guys feel about it?
I agree. I think obviously with Braun going forward into the main roster, it's going to set him up for absolute he's focused on that now. He's going to have complete whole new set of eyes on him, as well as everybody following him from NXT. So it's going to turn into it's the Braun show, which I'm all for. And with Corbin, as Corbin stated last night on the mic after the match, Braun was the one that was able to give him gold for the first time in 6 years, I think he said.
Yeah.
So he was like, you lit that fire in me again that I haven't had in a while, and so thank you for that. So I honestly think I think Baron can thrive in NXT, as well as obviously now with Frazier and Axiom being the tag champs. I think Axiom, at least Axiom, if not both of them, should definitely get a big push. Axiom is, if I remember correctly, Axiom is the one that in the past there were two Axioms, right? And they were fighting to see who the real Axiom is, or is that Dragon Lee?
No, that's oh god, that wasn't Axiom. It was Mystic. I mean, Mystico a long time ago.
Oh, that was I was gonna say that doesn't sound.
Yeah, that's a long.
That would be kind of.
Remember
that would be kind of cool. Like if they're the superheroes of NXT, have them have like mirrors come in and try to fight them almost. Like that'd be kind of cool storytelling. But yeah, I definitely agree. It's going to be a great fun time for them, and I definitely think their style of wrestling is going to give whoever challenges them going forward big runs for their money. So, next match. I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think they will be treating him better as he moves forward. And again, especially in this new regime, we'll get to that regime stuff later. But I think that this WWE will treat this Braun better than the Ye who should not be named WWE treated their Braun. Because Breakker versus Strowman are, two very separate beings. I feel like that they would not hesitate to pull the trigger and put a single title on him and let him hold it, as opposed to Strowman being an attraction which should have had at least one world title run. And I don't believe he ever got one, correct?
He got Universal, but not World.
Right.
Yeah. So he got one of the big belts, but how long did he hold it? Because I feel like it wasn't long.
I mean,
About a month. About
It
a
was-
month or so.
Yeah, so like I feel going forward in this new stuff, we could see him having a Gunther run with the title, as opposed to a Strowman run, which is only a month before we hand it off to somebody else. I just feel like this Braun will be treated better than the previous Braun.
I definitely agree. Honestly, I think he should go for the U.S. title and spear the ever living
Oh
shit
my god! Can we
out
break
of
Logan Paul in half?
out of Logan. Like literally, just break him in half.
Remember-
My God.
Now remember, Logan's Paul weakness is the mat has to be blank.
Oh no.
So long
It'll
as the
be
mat has a prime bot on it, you cannot lose.
He's telling the truth, which I hate for it right now, but he is telling the truth, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's go into the next match.
Next match is the 6-woman tag: Thea Hale, Kilani Jordan, and Fallon Henley versus JC Jane, Kiana James, and Izzy Dame. I think I chose the bad girls here just because they had a goth girl. But I know, obviously, we all know the good girls won on this.
Yes, specifically Thea Hale. And I'm glad they did that. First of all, a whole bunch of fineness just in the ring, and even around it. Jasmine Nix. But anyway, so I'm glad they didn't let Fallon Fallon is the veteran of the two. Kalani is the brand new, so Thea is like right in that middle. Thea has had success, and once she finally learned how to grapple and all that stuff, like again, she could have been NXT women's NXT champion against Tiffany Stratton if Andre Chase hadn't thrown in the towel, which we learned last night he bet against her.
Yeah.
That was a whole thing. So yeah, that's gonna be fun going forward. But yeah, so she has the talent, and letting her get the win, especially against JC, after a bunch of chaos, it was just bodies going all over the ring, and so I'm glad they gave a good solid match, showcased all of their great potential, and I'm glad they gave the win to Thea against JC. One, because you were my friend, I was never your friend. Smack, it gives Thea that validation of I'm better than you, and it just it lifts up Thea Hale more. I feel like her time with JC, where she wasn't directly under Chase U, kind of gave her more of a life, especially in her grown ass woman outfits. But I feel like once she sheds Chase U completely, she'll have an amazing, solid solo run.
Oh yeah, I mean I think that's what they're going with anyway. Because I'm like the whole thing of having Chase go, yeah, she's terrible. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been in this situation. I'm like, well, that's unusual that we're going to go ahead and ostracize her. That's after all said and done. I mean, yeah, the overall plan is to have her and JC Jane eventually face each other, just to wrap up the story. But it's like, well, damn, you're going to separate her for her own faction? That's different. But like you said, it's headed that way anyway. And also Kalani Jordan and Fallon Henley loving the fact that they are getting to stand out. And when they get to stand out, they have great matches. Yeah. And like I said, Kiana James, Izzy Dame, I'm more impressed with James than I am with Dame. I don't want her to fall in the Stacy Keibler of things where you're just tall and leggy, but you're not really showing anything. You're kind of depending on your looks more than your athleticism to get you by.
Yeah.
So
she definitely had some power moves a little bit. I feel like, honestly, her versus Lash Legend will be fun. Two kind of powerhouses like that. I think if they book her like that, it'd be a bit better. So
is it bad that with that booking, I think Lash Legend's going to outshine her?
Oh no, absolutely. But it just shows, you got two, powerful, and those big, I guess we can call them Amazon type women. They're still gorgeous, and they can show off their gorgeousness while still being powerful. So I feel like if they had changed up her booking to where, basically Izzy Dame is Kiana James' muscle right now. Like she's her muscle, and so I feel like showing more of that. Like Kiana doesn't even have to wrestle at this point. Just sick Izzy on him. Like, hey, go get him. You know,
or at least, or show her at least dominating. Like my whole thing is, if you're muscle, be dominating, or be in a position to where it's like your presence is going to determine the outcome, kind of thing. Like
you're the wall.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that's my little pet peeve with that.
I think booking that against someone like Kalani Jordan with them both being breakout participants. I think both of them would benefit from that because you've got that Goliath and David mentality. Here's this unmovable wall, dominant as she is, where Kalani keeps getting beaten, keeps getting broken down, but she finds the will to move on and actually conquer the mountain. And I think that would be for them just being solo, like breaking off from Kiana and Fallon. I think that would be a fun story to tell for them and giving them a lot more push. Joe, how you feel?
I didn't get to watch a lot of NXT, so I didn't get to see this one.
Okay, I feel that.
I was kind of in and out during some of this one. I got to see like the flip or the Morello and Trick. I got to see the Dragon off. I didn't get to see this one though, unfortunately. So that's my life sometimes in this house.
I understand.
Well, Nick, I guess then we can move on from this into the main event. I guess, right?
I mean, let's go. Let's talk about it.
The main event. I mean, do we all want to do it?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm down.
Whoop that trick. Hey, whoop that trick. Let's go.
I felt bad for Booker because I'm like, I can only imagine somebody that's in his ear going, "Do it, Booker."
And like the day Trick Williams goes into the main roster, they need to add Booker T's commentary into his actual audio.
I have an audio version of that. Like that's the audio version that I play on my playlist. It's Trick's theme, where someone has put in I think it was either the first or the second time he did it, where it was just perfect. He didn't.
It was just him, not the crowd.
It was just him, and it's him going, and
I like it.
That yes, I agree. Honestly, they should put it in now. But yes, if he ever does go to the main roster, it has to be added into it, man. It's a perfect.
I mean, it's the same thing for our truce intro. Do it that way. I mean, it works.
You're just not gonna get, unfortunately, Booker T back on Raw or SmackDown and traveling as much.
So and like I said, doing the whole thing via live over and over, and it's like,
it kind of weighs on them. Yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah. Do a hologram Tupac. You get hologram Booker T. Just come out. I like it.
I mean,
that would be fun.
Yeah, it would be. But I'm like, but Trick Williams, I'm like, give that man a proper intro because not everybody can do Seth Rollins. Let's just be honest. You can't do his. I mean, his intro is his alone for a reason. But I digress.
So intro aside, man, and honestly, give flowers where flowers are due. With Carmelo coming out in the Black Panther-esque outfit was outstanding. It kind of gave me MVP Royal Rumble vibes when he came out in his Black Panther outfit. But I mean, you cannot take anything away from Carmelo Hayes. He is still him. He is up, like I said, he is up there. If you had to pick the top two. Like at the top 3 stars, 2 men, one woman, that in the last 2 years of NXT have pushed the button forward. It has to be Braun, has to be Carmelo, has to be Roxanne Perez. You can even throw Wesley up there, but I'm ready for his comeback. That's gonna be a whole thing. Yeah, but just those 3 holding the bar, moving NXT forward. Whether they have championships on them or not, they showcase it showcases here. This is the main event. The NXT championship wasn't the main event. This story, this man who's held the company for 2 years, the man who's been beside him for 2 years, this story is the main event. And it just goes to show how bookable Carmelo Hayes is as a star, as a talent, how bookable Trick Williams is as an upcoming star.
because they both can go. And like I said, their story, and I'll give the Heartbreak Kid credit. You kind of pulled your own back with Mari Jannetty in the infamous barbershop.
Yeah.
I like how you did that because there was elements in there from that. But you told a story so well that you've made the NXT championship almost obsolete. And only because the championship itself was fine on this match, but the fact that you actually made those two the main event, it's like that just goes, and the fact that they work extremely well together. The fact that they worked that match extremely well, you saw the emotion, you saw the story being played out, and I'm like, that goes to show you that's how much faith they had in those two to carry the end of the show.
And Sean knows what that's like. He's had several matches. I mean, I recently watched the Rivals with him and Undertaker. Damn it, he's had several matches where they weren't the main event, but they stole the show.
Yeah. So
he knew going forward. Okay, you know what?
The light went out. It's Undertaker after you.
Yeah. Let's just let them have the main event. They're going to steal the show. The show is about them. Let's just put them in the main event because they deserve that area. And so, them going at it again. And of course, Ava even said it earlier. The refs are going to be lenient enough till we have a decisive winner.
Oh yeah,
and him going for the knee again. Carmelo Hayes having Carmelo and Braun. When they did both go heel, showcasing that they can be babyface, but they can also be, a solid heel.
Right.
And it just goes to show, again, they are truly bookable talents, and having them go at each other. And now you've got your right hand. It's a very, you could call it a mid-tier bloodline, but honestly, it's better than what they did with the bloodline, where you got your right hand man, but your right hand man's getting more popular, and then you get more jealous in it. And it played out so much better, and I'm glad they didn't end it there. I figured they wouldn't, and I feel like they're going to let the story go up until the draft. Having Melo come out, having Trick call out Ilya last night, and you can ask Nick. I went to Vengeance Day with the sole purpose of seeing one thing and one thing only: Trick Williams come out as champion. I'm so glad they didn't, because what we got now was so much better. Yeah. And he didn't end it there. Melo came out last night, attacked Ilya. Now they're setting up for what I believe is going to be a triple threat.
Ooh, okay.
At spring breaking. So
I will be honest with you. I hope they don't. And here's the reason. Here's the reason why I say I hope they don't. Because I think that you're okay. Y'all have had your one-on-one. This is the determining factor of you guys' culmination match. Okay, cool. At this point, Melo should be able to move forward. Trick should be able to move forward. Trick wants to move forward. And of course, the story with Ilya is like the whole thing of it's your career versus title match. Okay, cool. Put Williams in a different spotlight. We know he can work well. We know he works well with Hayes. We've seen that. Now let him work with Dragunov, because Dragunov at this moment is a beaten up champion, but at the same time, he's still a fighting one. Yeah. And now you have Trick, who I guess you could say bested his best friend. Now he wants it. Now he wants his redemption story with the title. So again, how do you do that? You can't just have a rematch. You got to put something on it. Which again, I like the whole thing of if you lose, you have to leave it. If you lose,
I love that.
Lose the NXT. And I'm like, are we saying that Trick Williams may? I mean, there is that possibility of booking that. Are we about to see Trick Williams be called up to one of the other, to either SmackDown or Raw at this point?
I mean, it's a likely possibility.
He is so over. They're chanting "Whoop that Trick" during regular WrestleMania and Raw and SmackDown.
We're also forgetting one small thing, and that's that the draft is happening very soon.
Yes.
So we're going to be getting an answer on who's coming up and who's doing what. I think, and we're jumping a little forward a bit on this one, and I apologize, but like the Dragunov versus Nakamura was kind of a testing, is like, how well does he work with the audience?
Yes.
Right.
God bless Shinsuke for putting him over, and being the guy perpetually putting people over now. Someone needs
Yeah.
that spot. I just wish it
The
wasn't
new
him.
Miz.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, everyone's got their points, but still, I want one better for that man. But I think Dragunov may be coming up, and or they may, if I was me, put him in the Imperium and have a power struggle in the Imperium between
That's
Gunther
what
and
that's what I was
Dragunov.
about to say actually too, because
That'd be interesting.
when I joined Tony and Shadow, which by the way, shout out Mills. Tony is in our
What up, Mills?
chat. But when we went to Vengeance Day, you know, I didn't really know too much about NXT. Just started to kind of get into it, or at least kind of like, you know, give me the brief synopsis, what I need to know to go in. And when I heard Ilya Dragunov and I saw when he came out, I'm like, I thought this guy was part of Imperium. And then Tony would lean over and be like, no, that's another guy. I was like, oh, so like he could totally fit in Imperium.
And to add to that, he was the last person outside of Sami Zayn to beat Gunther.
Well, there you go. So then, not only, well, first and foremost, obviously, we'll get into what happens in night 1 and 2 and Monday after the fact. But
yeah,
I do think that there's something coming up with Sammy, Gunther, Chad Gable, Ilya, whatever it could be. I think it's going to be a pretty good story to tune into for.
Yeah, but yeah, so
yeah.
Back to the main event, Trick. You did it. I think what they're setting up is Ilya going forward, Trick getting the championship, and also I forgot to mention, they're not good. I don't think they will do a triple threat. I think so. What they're doing is next week, Carmelo called out Trick for a Hell in a Cell match, a cage match at NXT.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be one of those, you know, kind of street fight, brutal type things. It'll give them a chance again to show off Melo's heel status. But I think Trick will again come out victorious, and at that point they should let Melo be off air for just a little bit. Spring breaking happens in concurrently with the draft. So spring breaking night 1 is the week. And then that Friday is night 1 on the draft. Night 2 of the draft is that Monday. And then night 2 of spring breaking is that Tuesday. So I think it'll fall concurrently in there together. So
yeah, it'll be SmackDown in Cincinnati. That is, here we go, April 26th.
Do what?
It'll be April 26th is the draft.
Yeah.
So that's the date.
Yeah, April 26th and then April 29th for draft night 2. So we'll be seeing a lot of moving parts for those 2 weeks. And I think going forward it's going to be pretty decent. But we lost Will for half a second. We'll let him come back in a little bit. That's all of NXT, man. NXT.
Yeah.
Again, we spent mostly, I think about 30 minutes, 40 minutes talking about it. And honestly, it's worth it. I know last week we didn't do it intentionally, but you know, this just goes to show how much love and work, you know, HBK has put into NXT. I mean, of course, it was Hunter's baby. I mean, it's been around for so long, which I'm still learning now. But as it stands as in its current incarnation, you know, it's a byproduct and a love child of D-Generation X, pretty much. And the fact that G-Generation X is in charge of WWE right now, that's something that we never ever thought would ever happen. You go from the degenerates to the ones in charge,
which scares me in the best way possible.
And so it just goes to show that, you know, some people as creative as that now being the ones that are in charge of creative, that's what we're getting now, and it just shows how much this new era is going to revitalize the love for wrestling. We'll let Will come back in whenever he's really able. Let's go ahead and kick off night 1, man. So
all right,
we've had NXT. NXT was great. We got a little break in between as we count down, and then night one hits. Oh, hey, Will's back. Cool. You came back
And
just in time.
Are you ready?
No, I wasn't building that. I
I
said,
are you ready?
man.
See, I mean go into DX posing right here. That I'm sorry. I was about to just.
Man. Okay, so you got a super chilly night in Philly.
Very cold from what I've been reading.
And you open up your 2-night main massive event with Mrs. Brutal herself, Rhea, mommy Rhea.
This is my brutality.
Complete with band.
Complete with band.
Motionless in white.
And you give Becky a chance to read from her book, which showcases just how far she's come. And these two amazing women put in work. Apparently Becky was sick.
Yeah. She had
man.
Which I think it was the flu or something. No, she had strep throat.
She had strep throat and was still going on
2-degree fever.
Yeah.
Chills. I don't
still
know.
Going out there.
Yeah, I know. Shadow and I were sitting there. I looked up all the symptoms for strep throat, and on a rare occasion, it also includes nausea and vomiting. Which good on her. She had her flu game. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out the right way for her.
Well,
but she had the flu. Yeah, right.
And so if she had one, that'd been great.
Right.
But honestly, with everything that happened with her husband and what's going on with her herself, they are setting up for both of them taking a break, which they deserve.
I mean, you had one guy who carried the world heavyweight championship and gave us really not
as a working man's title.
Why do I feel like I'm sound like Sheamus? He gave us banger after banger.
Man, and as speaking of which, Sheamus coming back. He back Friday. That's awesome. But yeah, no, I mean, and Becky gave us banger after banger. This is the woman who, sick or not, just went toe to toe, not once, but twice with Nia Jax within the span of 2 months?
In a last woman standing match week before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so even if she hadn't been sick, powered through as much as she can, she was not going there 100%.
Right.
No.
And it just goes to show her testament that she doesn't care. Like, I don't care if I'm 100% or 5%. I'm going to stand tall. I'm going to beat your ass. And, putting her up against the wall that is, mommy, who a year from the day she did that match won her championship and has been the dominatrix that we love for a single year.
But and people got mad, and I was one of those that sat there. And I'll be honest with you, I'm on the Rhea Ripley apology tour because I felt like she was so undefeated that she's gonna now be known by the title and not her. Like she wasn't known as the hungry one until she got the title. But technically, the thing about it is, it's made her so dominant that now it's like you want her
to defeat her.
Right. That's the thing. It's who's going to defeat her at that point.
It becomes the Undertaker, the Brock Lesnar of it all, the tribal chief of it all. Of who the hell comes in and takes over and beats Rhea, which we kind of might have gotten our answer come Monday.
Yeah, I'm so happy for that. And we'll get to it in a minute, but yeah, just their match itself. Was knockout, drag out. Becky don't mind throwing bowls, and mommy doesn't mind tossing your ass around. And they gave us a solid opening to WrestleMania, and it just pushed forward there. It was really good. I'm not giving any of these grades. All the matches themselves, whether they have ups or downs, were amazing matches this weekend. I can't find one that was just not good. Like, even if it was boring, it still had some measure of excitement to it. And
if it was portrayed as, oh, this is probably going to be boring, they added something, they
Yeah.
fixed something to
Mhm.
turn it
Yeah.
into, no, this is still fun.
Yeah.
and so great way to open up your weekend and your night one. And a solid matchup.
By the way,
which,
also we have Glitched Cake coming in the comments saying Jade Cargill is another option to who defeats Rhea Ripley.
That's also a good point.
That is definitely a good point. As she has a decent solid solo run, as they build her up like that, I think that might be a case. Honestly, it'll be a great matchup seeing those two fight each other.
Absolutely.
Especially if Cargill does have an unbeatable run. Like, don't get me wrong, her run in AEW was great. Never, not knocking that. Was it lackluster? Yes, but still a great run. Now, could they do the same thing? Because, like we said before, who's going to be the one that dethrones Ripley? Now, because of Cargill being in here, I mean, she is, correct me if I'm wrong, signed to SmackDown, right?
Correct.
Yes.
But obviously, we do have the draft coming up.
So we have and like Joe pointed out, we do have the draft coming up. So yeah, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put it out in the books. If Cargill goes to Raw, it's almost written in stone that her and Ripley will cross paths.
That's if Rhea stays at Raw.
Yeah,
right. As long as both of them are on the same show.
Well,
the other option still to me is I could honestly see Liv taking the title off of Rhea. But obviously on Monday, we kind of hinted towards it. We'll get into the topic now of come Monday. Nice little chair to the head.
flying chair motion.
Someone, like literally in the same span of time, someone took that recording and put the Sonic rings on it. So as soon as she got hit, bing, and I was like, "Oh my god, yes! I love this." I love Liv. She's amazing, and honestly, I'm glad they did Becky at WrestleMania because it gives Liv more of a build up.
Absolutely.
Did you not see what Rhea did to her?
Yeah, but here's the thing about
Morgan.
I could see them doing this for SummerSlam, pushing this feud out into SummerSlam, and then because SummerSlam is August or July?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got three PLEs before that. I think either 3 or 4.
But Morgan
pushing it to.
But here's the thing: Morgan has to get the Cody Rhodes treatment. What I mean by that is she has to build that resume. You can't keep. I mean, okay, you're on your revenge tour. Okay, cool, but show me, because again, this is what happened. Liv is already super over. She's over, but not. Let's be honest. We're comparing her to other female wrestlers. She's not as over as Lynch or as Ripley or even as hated as Jax, but she does have a small following. Do I think that with the proper booking, with the proper opponents, can that set her up to dethrone Ripley? Yes, because again, she has the perfect story. You put me on the shelf for a number of months. Now when and as she said I forgot which, I think she said it Raw, I'm coming to take everything you value away from you.
Yeah, that was badass.
And I'm like, if I'm Triple H, you have the next 6 to 7 months.
Yeah.
Build her up. If you keep her in the draft, that is, but build her up. That to me would work great for her because I think Morgan has some bad luck. I'll be honest with you. But,
agreed.
But could I see her dethroning Ripley and getting the rub and being the champion that nobody thought was happening? Absolutely.
Same here.
It just has to be booked properly.
I agree.
Look at what happened with her and the Money in the Bank run and beating Ronda. You know, and since then going on to be tag championships back and forth. She is over. She has push, and there is one other woman, and this is just me, who I think deserves another big push that just doesn't have to go along with her with the next PLE being in her country. Go back to Puerto Rico last year, Backlash. Zelina Vega gave Rhea a run for her money in her own country, and the pop for her was almost just as big as the pop for Bad Bunny, and so, and with King and Queen of the Ring coming up, she's already been that. She has that. That's never going to change. I need her to also get a bigger push outside of the LWO.
But I can't lie. That moment in Puerto Rico should have been it.
Thank you. Thank you. That should have been it. And then I would even have taken a give it to her there, give her like a solid month or two, and then have Rhea get it back. But just having her get it there in that moment,
perfect.
Would have been pitch perfect storytelling. And so I'm for giving Zelina a bigger push outside of LWO. I like what they're doing with her and Elektra, giving her someone to actually fight, giving her matches to actually showcase. I just need her to get a bigger push, man. I do, like,
because she got over with the Conchella.
Yeah, man.
Come on now. You got over with. I mean, don't get me wrong, Vegas already over. But the fact that you went back to your roots and pulled back the slipper that a lot of us from our childhood know about, and you made that a thing, that's talent.
See, even Glitchcake was shout out to Glitchcake. She's underrated. She is underrated, bro. Like she has talent. And here's the thing. It goes back to what we said about Izzy Dame and Kalani Jordan. It's that Goliath and David type thing. Zelina is small. Yeah, she is tiny baby, and we love her for it. And mommy is mommy. So having her dominate the Dominator, climbing that wall, it adds more for her character. And so honestly, whether it's Rhea, whether it's Bayley, I need Zelina Vega to get more push and get her chance at a run.
This can be petty, but I also need the cameraman to do what he did.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Real quick, shout out to the cameraman for this weekend and this last couple of weeks. I'm loving this new angles y'all putting on these matches. I'm just saying. That's just me.
We would have never gotten that with the other guy.
No.
Not only that, but also the one obviously sidetracking, partial to that comment is after the chair, that camera angle going from Rhea and Liv and going right out into the arena for the match.
That was dope, bro.
Dude,
it was so dope.
Oh, I love it. But
Joe,
so
how you feeling? You get kind of quiet down there.
Joe.
No, I'm just letting you guys go.
Okay.
I really think she is underrated. The most I see use of her is when I turn on her voice work in Street Fighter 6 at this point. As a guest commentator, I wish she would be seen in the ring more. I definitely agree that she should have won when they were in her hometown, but that's his booking, not Paul's booking, and he likes people to lose in their hometowns, and Paul probably doesn't, or at least I don't believe so, but we'll find that out next Monday
week.
with Sammy and Gable.
Yeah.
Sammy's in his hometown, so we'll see what that's going there. I don't know what they're going to do with Jade Cargill. I really don't. I mean,
I could see her being queen
are
of the
they going
ring.
to set her up to be the next one for Rhea or not?
Well, here's the thing, and so me,
like,
Joe,
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I do want to add one thing.
Yeah.
It's really hard to make these predictions because we don't know what the draft is going to do to the roster.
Okay.
So, we can fan cast Jade Cargill versus Rhea, and that be one of the big headlines for SummerSlam. But that is solely dependent on them winding up on the same promotion together. For all we know, Jade could go to NXT and rule the roost down there for a bit.
Mm-hmm. That's
because
true.
I believe
that's
under
fair.
Paul, NXT is going to be the third brand it always should have been. But now Paul's here the full time. I believe red, blue, and gold are all going to be on equal footing.
Okay. I mean, honestly, I'm with that. Yeah. I'm absolutely okay with that. And Joe's right. We don't know what's going to happen at the end of this month. It just goes to show you that the women are putting up as much of a fight as the men are.
Yeah.
And that you know, all of us in this chat, most of us watching, we grew up in the Attitude Era. So we grew up with bra and panty matches, and we grew up with, mud fighting matches, which do not get me wrong.
They serve their purpose.
Let's call it what it is. We grew up with 2-minute matches.
Yeah.
True.
And so do I miss that stuff? Yes. Do I think it should come back in a different thing? In saying something different? Sure. Might do it myself. I don't know. We'll see. But
Shadow's getting canceled here in 3, 2, 1.
But
Hey, what did we say about canceling? Just look at Paul Heyman's speech.
Right.
We got what we got then. We got what we got then. But I'm loving what we're getting now. Actually letting the women fight. Actually letting them talk. Actually letting them showcase their skill. Whether they're a wall, whether they're a high flyer, whether they have a mentor they're using the same moves as, whether they're just Jade Cargill, whether they're Bianca Belair, they are showing their talent and showcase, and it makes. I mean, the whole reason I started watching NXT in the first place was because of thick ass Nikita Lyon, but then I started watching the matches, and so I watch for the plot. But I actually watch now for the plot, if that makes sense. So I'm sitting there like, damn, she fine, but damn, she's a high flyer. Oh man, she hit hard, bro. So I can enjoy that now, enjoy both sides of that. Like, damn, Jasmine Nix is fine. Oh, she's got her arm broke. What the hell? Damn. And so I can have the best of both worlds and enjoy the talent we're getting. So I'm excited for what Hunter and what Sean are going to do in this new era with the women, and we'll get more on the women later because we got a three woman tag, a 6 man.
There are so many matches still on our list.
Hit the next match.
All right, next one up is the 6-pack ladder match. We've got Judgment Day versus Awesome Truth versus DIY versus 8-Town Down Under versus New Day versus New Catch Republic. And of course, our winners, we guessed it last week. They split them. We have the Raw champions, our Awesome Truth. Very happy
Judgment
about
Day.
that.
I'm a member of the Judgment Day.
And I'm sorry, did I say our truth? I meant Awesome Truth. That's what I meant.
And
you
were right the first time.
Okay. Yeah. And the SmackDown winners obviously are 8-Town Down Under.
I felt like midway through this match, they realized they were going too long, which is why 8-Town Downtown got those belts so quickly. Because I mean, the moment he was on that ladder, it was not the normal way to ascend a ladder in that company. That is a normal way anybody climbs a ladder.
Yeah,
to get those titles. I think they were running too long on that and had to speed that up.
Maybe I could definitely see that. Honestly,
the whole thing was great. God bless our truth.
Yeah,
they
hot tag in the middle of the match. First time ever to do that at WrestleMania.
Hey, he also got the three count.
Yeah. Shout out to 8-Town Down Under because they've been put through the ringer. They had to deal with chasing after Orton and KO the night before.
Yeah.
Then going back and forth with that. And then you win. You're the new
They're terrific heels. I'll say that. I can't stand them.
Brand champion
because they
you
come
immediately
off.
Get smashed.
Yeah.
You immediately I just won. Push. Oh no. And they just lay it out for the rest of the match. and so they like we called last week, they won, but everyone, and I mean every tag team on SmackDown is coming for that ass.
Yeah. I'd rather it not be either New Catch Republic or obviously 8-Town Down Under. I'd like them to lose. I'm not a big fan of New Catch Republic personally, but that's my own thing. But 8-Town Down Under, they are such heels. I understand and I applaud them for that because I cannot stand them. They are so much. Yeah, of course, which I applaud them for that. But they are, to me, another set of just Logan Pauls that are just, we're influencers that are gonna like, we're better than you and we know it.
Well, at least they
Fair.
show
That's
up.
fair.
At least they show up.
Yes.
But with Waller was all. I mean, that's what I loved about Waller. Waller can actually go, but
Yeah.
I feel like now, because I'm like with Austin, I'm like, dude, you're kind of like a bodybuilder turned wrestler. You're not really
Yeah.
showing a lot.
Well,
Waller
he
can
became the second version of the John Cena, the prototype, under He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Yeah, and so
He was that guy's guy.
Here's the thing about it. Waller was actually fine by himself. Theory was struggling, and then they
By
put
himself,
Waller with Theory just to get Theory some attention. That's
Grayson put Waller over. Like,
yeah.
Think about that. I'm sorry. Yeah, Grayson put Austin.
Yeah,
over.
you're right. You're right.
And so that in itself, here comes this new talent just to the brand, and putting him with you is putting you over because your solo runs. He had a decent solo run as U.S. champion the second time when he got his ruthless aggression part, grew out his beard and everything, but it got stagnant real quick.
Yeah,
real quick. So,
and the whole A-Town Down thing, I'm like, that is it. It's not it. It doesn't catch. Like, yeah, you're this, yeah, you're that, but when you get more attention on social media by Joey Swole than you do your own wrestling,
yeah,
that's saying a lot.
That's saying a hell of a lot. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy for them winning. They definitely have earned a run at the title. And I think their run's going to be both hilarious, and full of a bunch of cheating, which for them it works. And then going back to Awesome Truth, shout out to Miz. I mean, shout out to Truth winning his first championship at WrestleMania. Boom. Shout out to Miz getting back on top because his run against Gunter, Gunter telling him, "Oh yeah, you're just a Hollywood man here. You're just you're just the I'm the rich. You don't have no talent." And showcasing Miz saying, "Hey, don't forget, I've been here."
Yeah.
There's been several moments in the time that I have been here where I have been him. I'm still him. Let me show you. And I think that's what we're going to get with this. It's going to be a hilarious run. Let's just start that.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
And I also think it's going to give a chance for Miz to be able to show. And I'm glad they gave him a chance at another run. I think it's going to last for a good minute. But this run for him is going to be absolutely fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah. I think they lose the title sooner rather than later, only because, R-Truth's 50-something years old? At 51, I think he's 51. But also, he had, 2 different infections in his knee after the injury. And Miz, is a veteran now, too. So I think it's going to, at some point, I think, Truth before Miz is gonna, retire, but I think at some point sooner than later they're gonna give up the title so that way they can kind of go back to just we'll appear here and there. We don't have to appear in every show.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be a fun run on both brands. I'm glad they got it split up because it makes it going forward with this new draft. Things are going to be much more interesting.
It makes it a lot easier too because now you have. Which we'll get into, but to spoil, we have 2 belts for the men now, both in Raw.
Yeah.
So obviously one of them is going to have to go to SmackDown.
Yeah. Hashtag not Cody, but
please for the love of God, not Cody.
Cody's definitely going to be the Raw flagship for a while.
So let's go ahead and hop to the next match,
which would be Rey Mysterio and not Dragon Lee, turns out to be Andrade, thanks to Friday, and versus Dirty Dom and Santos Escobar.
So we talked about this last week, and we mentioned that. Well, no, it wasn't last week because it hadn't happened yet. But me and Nick were sitting there at his house talking, and I was like, the way that Andrade switched, to me, felt like it could have been played as a ploy to lower Rey Mysterio's guards and absolutely destroy him at WrestleMania, to where it's not just 2-on-2, it's 3-on-1, and it's just a massive LWO war Ray LWO loses, giving Santos, Dominic, Andrade a heel win at WrestleMania, giving them a chance to actually get Dom, you're here for a second time, cool. Santos, you're here for your first time, cool, but you actually won.
Right.
Not only that, but the other option would have been after what happened to Dragon Lee, and when Andrade said, I'll fight with you. Look at Carlito's face. So that was the other option, is if Andrade isn't the heel and it truly is, which it seems like it, part of the LWO and siding with Ray, then I think we're gonna get heel Carlito.
Yeah, but if he did, it would just be weird to see him and Santos together.
Yeah,
because keep in mind,
well,
Santos,
he might just leave. I don't know if he'll join.
Because I mean, the reason why I say that is because Carlito has been such a thing, and I think he's actually re-signed the contract. So
yeah, he did.
I think if he did split away from the LWO, which I kind of doubt, because you have way too many. You kind of have way too many heels right now. I mean, with Santos and Legado del Fantasma, and then you have the LWO, and they want, and for all intents and purposes, we want the luchadors to go against each other. So you do want that LWO Legado feud. So at the same time, you do want either Carlito's going to stand on his own and just say, I wash my hands clean of this. I was there for you, but you picked, Dragon Lee. I mean, if that's the story they want to go with, I hope they don't. I kind of want to see these factions grow in the same way Bullet Club at one point grew.
Yeah.
And I'd be okay with that, because that is a program in itself that could be fine, because they both have talented wrestlers like Walking Wild and El Toro. That man can launch off the top ropes like he was being shot out of a freaking cannon. And I'm like,
he flew off the screen.
Yeah. I'm like, when you fly that hard, like I can only imagine he's sitting the rope like, okay, just throw the rope.
If I die, I die.
Really?
If I die, yeah.
And the reason why I say that, the one time, you guys remember the first time he did it,
first
time Toro all looked at Joaquin and was like that. You want us to do what? The whole eyes were wide, like, are we really about
everyone at NXT lost their shit. I mean, we had both of them, Zoom, Spring, and it was just crazy. And
it's like seeing Keith Lee pounce Adam Cole for the first time. it's that kind of thing.
And it gives him a lot. Now, I do want them to continue their feud, but I want them to kind of add a wrinkle into it. Have them fight other people for a minute, and then have each other mess up each other's matches. If you want to give us a definitive end to a story like this, it needs to be an all out. If you think just one-on-one street fight in Puerto Rico was great last year, imagine a LWO versus Legado del Fantasma Civil War, just massive street fight. Everyone's there
backstage.
They come to the ring, they all line up like Civil War, and then they do the charge, and they all beat each other, and they all go separate ways. So you got to have multiple cameras fighting everyone, and then you probably have a defense. Like, if you're going to end it and go forward something else, that needs to be, because whether they have those hard matches or not, they're going to break the rules regardless. So let them just do whatever they want to. Give them full street fight rule, no rules, and let them just beat the ever living shit out of each other.
I agree.
And so I feel like that will be our eventual end. But honestly, going back to the actual match itself, the match itself was fine. We almost got Dom getting whooped again, but they stopped it. And then of course
this is the match I think that everybody was like, why does this matter?
Yeah.
And then we get some people joining in.
Yeah. So this was really just a setup to have, two Eagles players come out, help Dom lose.
We see two big luchadors. Who the heck are these guys?
I mean, they asked no questions. I'm like, really? So it's like, okay, Philadelphia. I see what you're doing here tonight.
Yeah,
you're gonna make my heart feel so happy when I'm Miss Kelsey.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind of the
So of course we had Jason Kelsey, and the other being Lane Johnson.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
that was a fun time. And honestly, that goes to what I said earlier. Here's a match that built up like, oh, okay, it's just gonna be Dom and his dad again versus someone else. It's gonna be boring. But then they found ways to make it work. You had all the factions out there. Everyone had their WrestleMania moment. And then you end it with two celebrities coming out, helping the good guys, helping Ray win, and then all in the ring celebrating. And then Kelsey takes his shirts off, does this whole thing. Boom. So that's what made a match that we said were going to be boring, exciting, interesting. And so that's what I'm feeling like we're going to get a lot more going forward. Let's go ahead and let's go to the next match real quick.
Sure, absolutely. Which would be, I believe it's Jay Uso versus Jimmy Uso, brother versus brother.
Yeet versus
was
no
Yeet.
Yeet.
Let's make fun of the what are the twins and what's the other one called? Super Kick
Huh?
Party guys.
The Bloodline.
The Bucks.
Oh,
Yes.
the Young Bucks?
That's all
Young Bucks,
this
okay.
match was to me. It's let's make fun of the Young Bucks as much as possible. Honest to God, I thought this was a Taekwondo match with as much time as they kicked each other.
Now,
of course, we have the winner being Jay Uso. Yeah.
Yeet. This match itself, man, heartbreaking, great storytelling. It should have been a tribal match.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because while it added to the storytelling of Jay going on his own and Jimmy trying to fake him out and all this stuff. Now we said something last week that we thought would have been interesting to do is Jay just beating the shit out of Jimmy and Jimmy's like calling from the back for someone to come out, but no one does, and it kind of gives like Jimmy, you're not in the bloodline.
Not with us.
They don't trust you,
Right.
but they didn't do that. So I feel like, as good as this match was, it could have been much better as a tribal rules match. They obviously both came out and with the thing on, but it could have been so much more with a no rules type match where they just literally beating the ever living shit out of each other more than just kicking each other back and forth and doing the same mirror moves. I feel like it could have been better if it was that, but overall, it was still an awesome match.
Yeah,
honestly,
absolutely.
I'm kind of surprised. Sorry, Mike, I don't mean to cut you off on that. Honestly, and I kind of agree with you on that to a degree. My thoughts on this is, why was this not a handicap match that Jay could overcome? I mean, just get all three of the Fatu brothers out there. Let them do a 2-on-1 match, and I keep forgetting which one is which, and that's on me. Is it Jimmy that's the good guy?
Jay's the good guy. Jimmy's
the good guy. Thank you. So, I mean, just let Jay overcome the odds and defeat his two brothers. I feel like that would have been a better match, not to mention Solo's go ahead. No WrestleMania match whatsoever. And he's supposed to be one of the most dominant forces in the bloodline next to Roman. So,
he'll get his soon.
I mean, he'll get his, he's the man who took out John Cena, but you completely left him out outside of a cameo in the grand scheme of things.
And I agree. So this is what the third brother versus brother match in what 15
every
years?
15 years we get it.
Every 15 years we get a brother versus brother.
I know that was the big build up for that. Why was it just them? And who knows? We might get that handicap match.
My pitch is still, I want SummerSlam or however long it takes till Rock comes back out of his movie, filming and everything. Whenever he comes back, I want Rock versus Roman, and and just have them go at it and make it a true, real trial by tribal combat. Get tiki torches. Get everybody start doing the haka. You've got The Rock's mom. Get all three Usos with the third obviously being Solo. You get what's Rishiki. You get Nia Jax, Ava. They all line up.
Tamina. Oh, I think Tamina's retired though.
But no, just not even to fight. I'm talking about just to be there.
Gotcha.
So you line them down the entire walkway, down the ramp, and they're just standing there, whether they're holding fire or whatever. and both The Rock and Roman come out in full tribal gear, come out onto the into the ring, and it is full head-on real tribal combat. Who is going to be the head of the table?
To add to that, if Roman takes his break and then comes back and does a face, which, you know, who knows?
That's what it sounds like.
That would be an interesting setup because we obviously know we obviously know Rock wants to battle Cody again.
Yeah.
And so who better to interrupt that match and set up their own match than Roman? It would shock everyone.
Yeah. Roman comes back, says,
and
I trusted you. You told me you had this handled.
Yeah.
And look what happened.
Yeah. And so it's so many ways that can play out. Going back to the actual match, though, Jay versus Jimmy, it was a great match. To give him something to overcome, like Joe wanted. He went into a fatal 4-way match last night to be the number 1 contender for the World Championship with broken ribs, and overcame, and with a little help.
Now, was that kayfabe, or was that? Does he actually have broken ribs?
That man speared his brother off the ramp into some tables. I'm sure that landing was awkward. He
had to be.
I think he's like at least bruised, but I don't know if
he's hurt.
He has broken ribs or not.
Well, I'd say broken ribs, but he's definitely bruised around that area.
Oh yeah, he had it bandaged around his on his arm.
So that was his overcoming moment last night, Monday night on Raw, and so I don't think, obviously they're not going to give it to Jay right now, but he is worthy. Damn it, he's up there. He's just about as over as Cody is, and I think maybe another solid year of him, showcasing everything, just going through the whole roster. Definitely by WrestleMania next year, he'll be holding gold.
Yeet Mania.
Yeet Mania will be a thing.
That'll be a thing.
Go ahead, Joe.
My problem with all this is that they are going to forget Solo in the grand scheme of things, because unfortunately he is playing the role that has been played multiple times before with Umaga and everybody else of the unstoppable Samoan, and then it just goes away, and I want better things for him. Of course, again, we're back to where we said before, we're under a new regime, so I have higher hopes for him and better storytelling for him. But I
agree.
I feel like he was the odd man out this WrestleMania, and this WrestleMania was supposed to be the big bloodline send-off, so where was his?
Other than appearing in both main events.
Right.
Again, as a cameo, as a basically a glorified walk-on cameo.
Correct.
I get it. I think we'll get a solid send off for them, because the bloodline is crumbled now. It's over.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, it's not.
There is no belt of protection protecting y'all anymore. People are going to come after y'all just to come after y'all now. So I think with Roman, I definitely think he's going to just be like, "Hey, I'm out. I'll see y'all." And then now there's no real protection for them. Jimmy Solo's gonna get tired of Jimmy just palling around. He might even fight Jimmy just to have another brother match and then do his own thing. I do think we're gonna get the full rise of Solo coming forward as of now. I just think there was no real room for it at Mania with everything they had already set up.
Right.
So,
but yeah, you want to move on to the next one then?
Yeah. Hop to the next one.
Next one is Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control 6-woman tag, or like our boy Tony says, Shadow, you want to take it?
Black Girl Magic.
Yeah.
Versus Damage Control. And still undefeated, Bianca Belair, the EST of WWE, has not lost a WrestleMania in 3 years, and I'm loving it. And that match itself was so much fun. They
came out as Mortal Kombat.
Turns out they were actually X-Men.
Yeah, it was great to see that. I'm loving what they're doing. With I hope they lean a lot more into the whole Storm Jade type thing. I mean, obviously, you know, a lot of her looks are based off of Storm,
Right.
and her intro is obviously based off. So I mean, she has something there that they can play with that and go forward with that. Um, but go back to the match itself. Damage Control put in work. I mean, obviously, Asuka, Kyrie, they are insanely talented. Dakota Kai got a chance to have her WrestleMania moment, leading the group. And, obviously we knew who was going to win at this. This is Jade Cargill's first WrestleMania. Now Naomi's back. Bianca's undefeated. And while we knew who was going to win, they still came out and gave it an amazing show.
Fantastic.
And holding Jade back for a while. She fought. It wasn't long, but holding her back for a while, saving your trump card for that, opening with Naomi, having Bianca get a lot of the hard hits, hit her moments, do the hair web on Asuka. I know Asuka has a welt on her arm.
Dude,
my God.
That whip sound. I heard that and was like, I think I actually said it to you. I was like, was that piped in or was that real? Because I was like, that sounded loud.
And so giving it to Black Girl Magic and letting them have their moment, take nothing away from Damage Control. I feel like Damage Control, like the Bloodline, is on its way out, because honestly all of them can be really decent with solo, or at least with the Warriors staying together. Everyone here show amazing potential, great talent. I think their futures going forward is going to be bright, especially with someone like Dakota, who's been injured, but able to perform vocally and everything, be the voice of Damage Control, and basically her whole machinations caused everything that's happened in Bloodline, in Damage Control, that's happened right now, that led to what happened on night 2. But anyway, how you guys feel about it?
It was okay. I mean, here's my thing about Damage Control. I keep on saying this. Bayley being separated from them did more harm than good, because Kai's not the same type of talker as Bayley is. Like Bayley can do it by herself or in a group. She's proven that. Kai, because she's trying to represent Sane, she's trying to represent Asuka, it doesn't really roll off the same. And don't get me wrong, I don't think Asuka and Sane need people to speak for them. I think their own promos can carry themselves. But I just think that right now, Damage Control is just a vehicle for Kai. Like, can Kai stand on her own? That's the question.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
I think they're going to rebrand into something else, because at this point, Damage Control is almost entirely Asian. In fact, I think they are entirely Asian.
Except for Coda, yeah.
Yeah.
Is Dakota not like Filipino or something? No, I'm always thinking Shotzi. I'm always getting Shotzi confused with Dakota.
Yeah.
No, so I think they're going to be booting Dakota next if they do anything. They continue this way, because I really do think that they're going to try and make a all Asian woman staple at this point.
What I'd like to see with that. Who is inducted into the Hall of Fame this year? Bull.
Yeah.
You could have Bull be their manager, kick Dakota Kai out. But that's if Bull wants to get back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she is New Zealand. So But yeah, no, I definitely agree with Joe. I think they will, because one, they lost night 1, then EO lost night 2. So and then I feel like the final straw will be her accepting a tag match, without their consent, and them losing it to someone. And that'll be the last straw before they kick Dakota like they kicked Bayley. And then that'll be a good way to storytell for Dakota, where she's all alone. She doesn't have Bayley because she betrayed her. Now she's been betrayed by Damage Control. She has no one, and she's doing her own thing, all that stuff. So I think her going solo will be great. The All Asians faction will be amazing, and Bayley being the champion. So obviously, Bayley did what she said was going to do. They won a bunch of stuff. They dominated. Now there's no need for them anymore.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I feel like is going to happen going forward. Again, this is all coming from a guy who just started wrestling 2 years ago. I'm still getting used to this, but I'm also a storyteller. I'm a writer, so I can kind of see different paths that can be taken going forward with these stables. So and that's just what I think. So, what's the next match?
Next match we have the ring general Gunther versus Sami Zayn, and
Should have been Gable.
It should have been Gable, or it should have been a triple threat with Gable, or hell, even just Sammy versus Gunther with Gable as the special guest referee. Yeah. Any of those options, but this is what we got, and honestly, I loved the entire way into the ring. You have Gable walking up to him, telling him, "You're going out there alone. You've got this. You always have." They shake hands. He looks at him. He gives him the Apollo and Rocky speech of, "All right, but you owe me a favor now."
Yeah.
Of course, based off of the, was it Rocky 3? Is where he fights Clubber Lang. Afterwards, they have the infamous secret behind closed doors. Round 3. Apollo and Rocky
fight. I feel like this Monday is going to give heavy that fight energy.
Yes.
And we actually get to see it. He saw his kid and his wife, coming out, and then who should be waiting?
Keep the kid backstage. We don't want him to see it just in case. Which we were sitting there going, "Oh God, does that mean he's gonna lose?" And then of course, who's there? His best bud,
KO.
Yeah.
That was beautiful because like right before it happened, I turned it. I was like, man, I wonder if Kevin was gonna be out there. And sure enough, boom, there he is. And just them embracing them, knowing what they achieved last year at around the same time, same night. Sammy has now won a championship. Night one of WrestleMania for the last 2 years. I love it. And so having that moment with them and going out there again, while I say it should have been Gable, and we would have had the same energy, knowing what Sammy's journey has been, obviously him being higher in the card than Gable, it made more sense for it to be Gable. So,
especially when you think about the character backstory on the back of it, like. Don't get me wrong. I love Sami Zayn. And yes, he kind of already, the argument I made was he already had his WrestleMania moment when him and Kevin Owens won. When they won the Undisputed Tag Team titles, you already had the WrestleMania moment. The fact that this whole thing of finding your way back to WrestleMania through whatever means possible, and the fact that Gunther is sitting right there, and we have Gable, who, in my opinion, is probably one of the best technical wrestlers on the roster outside of Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
and you couldn't give this man the match and the stage at WrestleMania. Not even just to win, but just to even be there.
Yeah, the promo they gave him before the contender match. That was the perfect setup. It was almost like what they did with Seth before he won the King of the Ring. I mean the Night of Champions. It was one of those promos where like, okay, they're going to set him up to be the champion, because this type of promo, talking about his life, talking about his his emotions, what his family had to deal with, getting that payback. More. Yeah, it just means more. All of it was right there. It was there for him to have his WrestleMania moment. And I feel like, obviously, they're not going to immediately take it from Sammy right now. But the next person that holds that title needs to be Chad Gable. He is worthy of a title run right now.
Absolutely. After Chad Gable, give it to LA Knight.
Man.
Well, it depends on what the roster does, but yes, I agree. I agree. So, and then obviously the ending of the match too, and we saw a little bit of it, when Gunther came out and unceremoniously beat the hell out of Zambi. He does the whole seizure of I'm getting back up. He did it this time. It was kind of corny. It kind of was, but it worked out for his favor. And he gets back up. He's in the zone. He does it, and then you get the champion. You go over, kiss your wife. It's the whole thing. It was great storytelling in itself. Even without it being Gable, it still was great storytelling.
Yeah,
for the underdog. So,
Mhm.
yeah. So, I definitely, it was still a great match. Like, you can't take anything away from Gunter. He put in work.
Mhm.
Has been putting in work
Those
for 666 days. So, yeah.
Those chops, man.
I
I
mean,
would not
boom
wish that
shots.
upon my worst enemy to take those shots.
It's more the sound than the impact. Like it was just. I mean, I've heard some chops from AEW to New Japan, but when Gunther does it, I mean, especially if you got no shirt on, and I mean that sweat, and he's heavy-handed, and he comes across. I dare say that between him and the Big Show, I don't want to get slapped by either one of them dudes.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Joe, how you feeling?
I really enjoyed the match midway through, although I would just call it Chopomania because, man, Sammy was laying it in on Gunther just as much as Gunther was on him. And
yeah,
Gunther's whole shoulder and right pectoral, was just like
red
before he even got one chop off on Sammy. Not to mention, Hunter let him do the generico brainbuster, which was by far the best way to finish that match.
I have never seen anything like that. I didn't know what that was at first. Shadow, I looked at you and I was like, was that a botch? What the hell was that?
I told him, bro, I don't think so. I think that was a brainbuster, but I never seen one like that.
The moment Cole said, a brainbuster, you lit up. And you're like, let me tell you.
Yeah. There are like two moves that we don't see anymore, and only Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have done them, and that's the compact pile driver, which is like Kevin Owens used to do when he first came on the top rope, which was originally, I think it became like a much safer version of the burning hammer.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't think he does it now, but he used to when he first came in. And now we got the El Generico turnbuckle brainbuster. But of course, the WWE has much thicker padding than an indie event, so that's probably the safest brainbuster you'll ever see in your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, honestly, an all-around classic match. And we're gonna pick one at the end of this for both nights. What is the actual, not the gimmick one, but what is the match of the night for both nights? And we're gonna pick that later. But let's go into the next match.
The final match of night one, main event. I'm gonna call them by what they should be called, their tag team name. What Cody came out wearing, freaking Nightmare, versus Roman Reigns and The Rock.
Man, speaking of gimmick match, which honestly, call it as it is, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. You have everyone come out with amazing intros. Seth is gonna be Seth. Seth just does not care. I love fashion. I love that flamboyant. Here's my music. Let's party. And so, and then of course, Cody's always going to Cody always hits the whoa.
Yeah, it's always that spot.
And his outfit for that one was really fun. Like I said, we both love the
one of our buddies, Jesse, said that it was Legends of Zelda themed.
Yeah. It incorporating the both of their attires.
Freaking Nightmare.
Both of their attire incorporated mixing their logos. It just goes to show how far they've come, as wrestlers and as partners. Because I first started like in 2022. It was just after Hell in a Cell, right?
Yeah.
It was the night after. It was the Raw after Hell in a Cell. I didn't watch Hell in a Cell, obviously, and so I'm sitting there watching. Like I'm actually invested now. And here comes Cody Rhodes. Seth is in the ring and everything. Here comes Cody Rhodes, and he comes out and they're showing that. I'm like, yo, he fought with that. What?
And then you learn in the American Nightmare documentary that no, as much as he said, it doesn't really hurt that much. It's a torn pec. I can barely feel it. No, he lied through his teeth throughout the entire thing. He was like, I'm dying.
Yeah, absolutely. And he fought with that. And then of course they do the whole fake handshake thing, and then Seth takes the sledgehammer, puts him out for his commission to heal. That's when I got invested that night with Cody and Seth. I got invested in honestly in both of them that night. That's the night that I truly started watching. So to be able to be on this ride from then to now, and to have them two stand together against two opposites in the ring, and Roman's always going to have an amazing opener, but Rock's was, I mean, obviously the whole final boss thing and the video
game, like the 8-bit
and the video game 8-bit intro and
Yeah.
final boss engage, like it's. And then, of course, the big burning Brahma bull. I mean, solid intros. And then the match itself was just straight gas, bro. Like,
and of course, you know who's going to win, because how do you have a WrestleMania where Rock doesn't win, 1, and 2, where Rock doesn't show up again for night 2? So we knew it was going to be Bloodline rules to get Rock again to show up night 2. So of course Roman and Rock win, but they win.
How they did it,
they win in tremendous fashion. Where Cody and Seth actually, they showed they had some guts. Still, they were toe to toe with them for a while. I mean, Rock took a spear from Roman.
Yeah.
That is already a meme everywhere. They're putting the Tom and Jerry scream over Rock.
I'm gonna give it to Will in a minute, but the one thing I liked about this, we talked earlier about Rock having that contract of not getting a couple of different hits and then winning out and outright. Well, that's movies. I'm glad he had enough wherewithal and enough, professionalism to come into this for the story. He wasn't just the ultimate Titan, take a hit and then it doesn't phase him and he just gives it back full force. He took hits, he took bumps, he took attacks from the others. Cody rocked bottomed him, his own move on the table. And so I'm glad that he had the professionalism to take those hits, give back tenfold, absolutely. But he took bumps, he took hits. And it just goes to show how much he cares about the brand, how much he cares about, this story that they've all put together and built up. That he took those hits, he took those bumps. That's the one thing I really loved about that. Knowing he was going to win, obviously.
Oh yeah,
I'm glad he took those hits. Will, how'd you feel about it?
I had to look at it like this. It's the whole thing of, like you said, being The Rock, being in movies and UFL and all that stuff. Yeah, he wasn't going to be 100% committed to the way the rest of the wrestlers were. That being said, he still served his purpose. He still served his purpose when it counted. What I mean by that is the whole moment of Roman spearing him and the look on his face, which that was a great spot.
Yeah,
I mean, he for a guy who was at an older age, he could still go in the ring. And the fact that's a testament when a guy, guys who have been out of the ring for more than 6 years or so, they usually have ring rust. And in his case, I mean, he did okay. At the same time, like you guys said, we knew what was going to happen. We were waiting on the Bloodline to show up. We were waiting on Sikoa. We were waiting on Solo. We were waiting on Jimmy. We were waiting at the times that we knew the stuff was going to happen. So, of course, because it's Bloodline rules, we want, it just amps up the factor for night 2. So,
yeah.
I mean, having Rock and Roman win just made more sense.
Yeah. And of course, both of them having a chance to have belts on their shoulders and hold them up with the fireworks. I mean, that's the only real reason that they gave him. Now, I don't think that's the reason why they inducted Muhammad Ali. I don't think that's it. That was a genuine induction. But the smart thing they did was playing that into the story. Obviously, Muhammad Ali wouldn't be there, so someone would be there, and then for them to have and tell the story of the whole People's Champion again, and for them to present him with a belt, that's his. No one else is going to ever take that away from him. It's his belt, so he can wear it, he can bring it, he can do whatever he wants to it. So of course he wears it, he brings it down to the ring with him during this final match, and being able to, and honestly, I think about it from a family standpoint. Here I am sitting with my cousin, him the champion, me the people's champion with this title, and that picture is there forever.
Yeah,
that video is there forever. We can look back on this years later with our kids and grandkids. Like, hey, here's me and cousin Joe, at WrestleMania 40, and we're holding up the titles, and we just won the match. They can have that forever. And so, yes, give it to Rock. Cool. You did. He served his purpose. His entire purpose for coming back at that point had been fully fulfilled and serviced. He did what he had to do. He came in, Thanos to everybody, won, and he went off to sit into a grateful universe watching the sunset until night 2. 5 years later, we go into the end game, and of course we saw what happened there. So again, that's that storytelling component of it. His purpose in that story was fulfilled at that moment, and you knew, or at least you had an inkling about what could take place for night 2, because they ended that on showing him hitting the Cena pose, showing Cody hitting the arms up on your legs. Like, damn, I just really lose again.
2 years in a row.
To have that 2 years in a row, you have one with the gold color, one with the green color. You think, well, damn, is he actually going to finish the story this time, or like, is he actually going to do it? And then you come to night 2, and so the storytelling for that, man, the whole storytelling for this, from the moment he walked in to now, has been absolutely perfect. Whether you like it or not, it's a perfect way to end one era and begin a new one.
True.
Absolutely agreed.
Joe, what'd you think?
I mean, I enjoyed the match, but the conclusion was foregone because I knew who would go over just from like the layout of the match. Because I knew what to expect coming the second night. Because it was like, no, they're definitely going to win. That way they can pull as many shenanigans off as they could in the following night.
Oh, did they?
So like I said, so you knew what you were going to get coming into it. You just didn't know how it was going to happen. Of course, we have the continued seeds planted of the inevitable backstab of Rock versus Roman, because I'm sure that'll be a match on its own.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All the signs are there. Plus, I'm old enough to have seen the actual collapse of the Nation domination via The Rock's hands against Farouk live.
Yeah.
Well, live, I say live. Live as in watching Channel 24 on the USA Network. Look, it wasn't over in Florida, so yeah, it was Channel 24. Everything was fine. Seth was only coming out as his standard bard, as opposed to the following night where he was a bard that also put points into druidism and wizardry. He was like tri-classic.
I love that.
But good old Seth giving everything he possibly can, despite how hurt that man is.
That man is literally broken in half by God. Like, and honestly, let's just go ahead and segue into night 2, talking about Seth.
Now, I have an excellent analogy for Seth Rollins.
Go ahead.
He is the X-ray that he was Batman's X-ray in The Dark Knight Returns.
Oh God!
Wow.
Like, bro,
what is that a false statement?
You have no cartilage. Like it's nothing there.
It's all gone.
So yeah, going into night 2, real quick opening.
Yes, Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Which, to clarify, I know some of us were a little confused on some of the stuff there. Obviously, Drew's entrance fantastic with all of the pipers, fantastic. I know some people didn't get it. I got it just because I grew up in Jersey and New York, so I know what it is. Seth's entrance is actually a part of the New Year's Eve Philadelphia Mummers Parade. So the Mummers Parade outfits are from New Year's Eve. They all compete in different costumes, everything. They have bands and everything. So he came out with the full Mummers band, playing his theme, wearing a Mummers outfit himself, which I joked that it was very reminiscent of the Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the Birds of War. We're the Birds of War.
I thought it was just a return of No Way Jose.
Oh, dear God.
Well, even before we get into that fully, we cannot talk about the opening of night 2 and not talk about Stephanie McMahon
is back,
opening the show,
stealing her
husband's lines,
right,
and showing firmly where she stands against her father. And so I'm excited. I don't think she'll really truly have too much to do as part of this new era, or if she wants to or not.
Change her name to Stephanie Levesque, please?
Yes, but I think she even will.
You're gonna kind of have to at this rate.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be great going forward. But yeah, going back to as soon as that bell rings, play more. Like
Jesus,
like what in 5 seconds flat? He had stuff on his back, and Drew. I've been saying it the whole weekend. And I said it, the whole week. Drew has been the funniest thing leading up to WrestleMania. He finally snapped. He's the man that broke CM Punk, put him out of his misery. And
CM Punk's commentating.
CM Punk's commentating. Him being so obsessed with CM Punk and all this stuff. It made him the most hilarious, and he won Social Star of the Year at the Slammies, which all of that led up. That led up
to this match.
Into this match,
middle of the match, grabs his phone from his wife and tweets, "Bored at work, LOL."
Right.
He is. Obviously, he's the healthiest one in this match. Seth was broken from last night. He's already been hurting, and so it just goes in. He tries to take him out in the first 5 seconds. And don't get me wrong, Seth gives as good as he gets. Hurt or not, he always gives as good as he gets. But it was never about him winning. We knew for a fact he was not going to walk out. So what they do, Drew gets him. He finally wins. He has his WrestleMania moment.
Instead of talking to Seth about it, instead of taking in the fame and walking off, what does he do? He turns, he gets out of the ring, he kisses his wife, okay. But then he walks right up to CM Punk. Look at this title. Look at what I did, all because I broke you. Yeah. And as he turns his back again, brace comes off, goes onto the other hand, boom.
Oh,
CM Punk drops him.
He hits he hit CM Punk with a DX. So and that was the last straw. Yeah. He actually tripped him on the commentary table. And then of course, like you noted in the pictures you sent in the chat, it was at one point through the weekend, he was seen a lot without his cast. If someone, it's underneath his suit. No, just no at that point. And so he takes it off. He uses it as a battering ram, and by God, who decides to come out?
The other Terror Twin.
I still call this honestly the best theft, the best heist since Seth Rollins.
Yeah. He's in top 3 cash-ins, I would say.
I mean, it played out so perfectly, and he had no idea CM Punk was going to do that. I mean, obviously, kind of they did, but like he could have just done it in the middle, or he could have caught.
He waited for the most opportune moment,
and it worked out in his favor. And now we have bisexual Undertaker, the Archer of infamy himself, the Damian Priest, is now our new World Heavyweight Champion, and I'm loving it.
And now the Terror Twins have matching belts.
Yes.
Which is the complete opposite of what I predicted last week, saying that if Rhea loses, then Seth will keep his belt. so that way
Yeah.
him and his wife have matching belts.
Yeah. Honestly, that would have been great too. But what we got and what we're getting is perfect. I think definitely Damian's reign is going to last for a good minute. A very good minute. If they have,
I say this could be the reason that we see Judgment Day break up.
Mhm.
You know, you've got Dom is now feuding with Rhea of, you know, you got to handle this. He turned on you to help your father. What the hell? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, obviously, she's got her own issues with Liv now. And, you know, I'm sure Damian's sitting there going, why do I have to deal with this? You know, now I have to go talk to Adam Pierce or Adam Cole again. Why did I just say Adam Cole? You know, Adam Pierce. Again, and just like, you know, he last week or 2 weeks ago when Dom invited all of you know, all of was it
Santos.
Andrade's crew and
Yeah.
Santos's crew.
Mhm.
Damian's like, you kidding me right now? I have to go talk. And so
Yeah.
he left. So
Yeah.
this is my pitch, is that I see one of two things happening, especially with, you know, Roman taking a break. Paul Heyman's a Hall of Famer. He has his ring. He was flaunting it into the camera towards the end of the weekend. I honestly think he's going to move on from Roman. And that's how you don't see the tribal chief anymore. Because that was Roman's quote, was, the moment you don't see me with Paul Heyman is the moment the tribal chief is no longer here.
Yeah.
So
But
I
the
think
funny
it
part
goes.
is-
I think it goes though to either Drew or to Damian.
Or Braun Breaker.
or Breaker, because you want Priest to have a run. Priest is going to have a lengthy run. He is going to have a lengthy run. So, you know, the whole thing of now who's going to challenge Priest, because right now they want to keep the Judgment Day together. They want to keep, because they're hot, because Rhea is super red over. Damian's super red over. I think the problem is going to be now is that Balor's kind of taking a back seat this year, and JD McDonough he hasn't really stepped forward since being a part of the Judgment Day, since his climb up
taking
in
all the
NXT.
bumps.
Yeah.
So, and then
They should switch that.
They should, because I love R-Truth, but it's time to separate the whole bit about him being the Judgment Day.
The tag team in Judgment Day, it doesn't need to be Dominic and JD. It needs to be Finn and JD.
Yeah.
Because one, they've trained together, worked well together, and it'll give a chance for JD to actually showcase it. JD is a beast, bro. Like if you go his NXT, I started watching NXT while he was still in NXT. Mm-hmm. He is a surgeon. If that man finds anything injured on you or anything wrong, he will target it and he will surgically end your career.
Oh, he's definitely a technical wrestler.
I need more of that from him.
But also at the same time, it's like when you have a faction like Judgment Day, the problem you're gonna run into is that right now you have two stars that are standouts between Priest and Ripley. Mysterio is only there because, let's be honest, he's got above nuclear level heat on him.
Oh yeah,
and he's tied with Mommy.
So then you have, again, going back to Balor, we haven't really seen a lot of Balor. Like, I keep hoping this year someone's gonna look at Balor and say, "Remember when you was the demon? Remember when you was the guy? What happened to you?" I want that his next feud should be somebody like, I came into Raw to basically face the demon, and what do I get? I get Judgment Day's bitch.
Ooh, that'll be good. And you know what would be better to add on to that?
Mm-hmm.
King of the Ring is coming up.
Yeah.
And so you've got your world champion, you got your women's world champion, Finn,
and it's in Scotland, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's a two thing for King of the Ring. Either give it to Finn and have the main three Judgment Day people be back on top, or the most hilarious thing to do, you get the tag titles back to JD and Finn, and through the most idiotic, dumbest way possible, however much he has to cheat, Dom is King of the Ring.
Oh,
don't give him
I
that
don't
idea.
know. Yeah,
Don't
no,
give him that idea.
no,
I'm gonna
please
tell you
no,
why.
please no.
I mean, don't get me wrong. First and foremost, Mr. Dominic Mysterio is a workforce. The fact that he has had the most matches out of any wrestler last year says a lot.
Yeah.
Does he need to be king of the ring? No, because if he is, it doesn't culminate to anything. Anytime it's king of the ring, you gotta think you're putting somebody in the main event title picture.
Yeah.
He was North American champion for a little while.
Yeah.
Could he? I mean, if you really want to put Mysterio somewhere to give him extreme hatred, Triple H can bring back the cruiserweight title.
They need to anyway.
Here's my thing: I think, like going back to last week when we had Tony on, and I think we need to have a to end the feud between Ray and Dom. Needs to be, look, it's father versus son, one-on-one. Let's just end this and make it I like Tony's idea of mask versus hair. You have Dom lose and he shaves his head. Maybe that means he puts the mask back on and he joins the family again. But
I can see that.
I'd love to see him, if Ray's going to retire, Ray's already a Hall of Famer. I think is he the only person ever to be active and immediately get inducted into the Hall of Fame while still being active?
I think so, yeah.
No, there's other ones. Edge for the short time was a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Edge was there, yeah.
Okay. So
I wish he was still there.
Me too. But he wanted his last match against Christian more than anything. So
yeah.
But anyway, I think if Ray's going to retire anytime soon, or within our lifetimes, obviously he's going to retire. But I think Dom should pick up the mantle, get rid of that heat of being hated so much. Put on a mask, never take it off again. Be the next Rey Mysterio. Be Dominic Mysterio.
So a way they could play that out, let them have their last match, do whatever. He's just ridiculed by everyone. Even Judgment Day, lets him go. Mommy drops him, you bald now, you're ugly. Like, he just gets ostracized and left, and he's off camera for a solid, I say 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, mommy has to shun him.
Yeah, and then you have Ray in some kind of feud where it's like it's dangerous for him. Like the person in that feud is trying to literally, once again, it can still be Santos if you have to. They're trying to take him out. Like we are so done with you. This is it. After this, you're never coming back. It's dangerous for him. Like, he is in danger.
Yeah.
And who should come and save him than his own son?
That's true.
Because
there's your redemption arc.
Because at the end of that father and son match, he shaves him, but he showcases, this is not what I wanted to do. I still love you. You are still my son. But now you've had your lessons. He goes away, he comes back, he's shunned, and he comes back, he saves Ray, and that's the beginning of his redemption arc. That's his face turn. You've had your run as a heel, great nuclear heat. That's the way to set up Ray leaving.
Yeah.
And him taking the reins as the next Rey Mysterio, but he's already built up his own personality as himself. So I think that's a way you could do it. Question: did we ever stop talking about Drew and Seth? How do we get on?
Yeah.
How do we get all the way?
I think it was the Heyman aspect.
Yeah,
the Heyman side.
So the Heyman aspect of it.
Yeah.
The reason I said it should be either Damian or Drew, I think personally I would go more Drew. I know you guys are saying Braun, which makes sense, but I love the idea of Drew being the next Heyman guy, taking on Heyman and having that feud with CM Punk after Punk comes back once he's healthy.
Yeah.
And you have why would you ever want to be another Heyman guy? I was the first Heyman guy. I thought you wanted to be everything except me.
But that would be so perfect as far as Heyman, moving. He's like, I thought you were the tribal chief. No, I am now with the chosen one. Now, I hope.
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing I hope that Heyman doesn't do. Because again, Heyman is a master promoter. He is a guy that could take anybody and I think really get almost anybody over. Do I think he could do that with Drew? Absolutely he could do that with Drew. At the same time, the whole tease with Drew being a world champion for 5 minutes and 46 seconds does lead to the whole thing of him and CM Punk. Like, granted, when CM Punk is 100% and back wrestling for whatever time we have him, that would make a great program between him and McIntyre. Because, again, it's like, okay, you made fun of me when I couldn't fight. Now I can. And so we can go from there. But Heyman, as far as that, though, I don't think, like I said, going back to Roman. Roman right now is on that side of, I've carried this company, I've carried this title, I can disappear for a while.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I mean, no shame on that. He could disappear for a while and be fine. Heyman, on the other hand, could still be around, and it's that whole thing of like being the advocate because we've seen him do that on other shows. We've seen him more than we've seen Roman, but the impact is still the same. I mean, the whole thing, like, I used to make fun of Jericho getting things over. Heyman has gotten a cell phone cover with Bloodline written on it over. And the only reason I know that is because the cell phone cover is sold out at WWE shops.
You also have the Rock one.
Yeah, so if that tells you anything,
Roman Reigns.
Heyman can get over a cell phone cover. That's just something you're not just going to shelve just because the person he's representing is no longer seen. I'm just saying.
Right.
It's again putting to the testament of his history and just how damn good he is, and he is worthy of being put into the Hall of Fame. That's a conversation in itself because I do want to dive into the history of ECW. Like I said, I missed a solid chunk of WWE, and then even the stuff back then as a kid, I barely even remember. Like I remember liking wrestlers, I remember liking matches, but as a kid, I wasn't privy to any of the behind the scenes and we're taking over this brand. I wasn't a part of that. So having to go back and hearing his speech, seeing the promo for ECW and learning about that, it just gives me more stuff to absorb and learn and appreciate of, which again, I don't have those memories, but I see the love and respect he gets and see where he is now. And it makes absolute total sense. Let's go ahead and go to that next match because we are pushing.
I know.
we
next one is the 6-man tag team Philadelphia Street Fight, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament, which we do have finally. I've been begging for it the whole time since I have 2K24. They've been promoting, we have special guest referees back in the game. Okay, well, let's see it in WrestleMania. We got one.
And we got it. And
Philly's own Bubba Ray Dudley.
Bubba Ray.
Not
only that, but it's freaking Snoop Dogg on commentary.
Oh my God. That was fantastic.
This is why I keep saying every time.
What is this, family reunion?
all I can say is whenever Snoop Dogg is commenting, whether it's the NBC Sports Desk, whether it's the Olympics, whether it's wrestling, the man is funny as hell.
Yes,
that's all I'm saying.
Yes,
the man is funny as hell.
It's so good. It works so well. But going back to this 6-man match.
Obviously, we have the winners being Lashley and the Profits.
The Pride. Shout out to them.
We do have a reason they win. With Karrion Kross, of course, pushing Bubba Ray Dudley, breaking out the glasses,
right,
slapping him on, going, no, you don't touch me. Looking at the Profits, going, go up, split the legs,
get the table,
what's up, and then the whole 3D. Free fall. I have never seen 3 black men all slap each other. It's like okay. You, no, you, no, you. It's like, okay, that was good. That was good.
And see, this is another one of those matches that we talked about last week. That while I'm glad it happened, could have potentially been another. Like we knew the Pride was going to win because they've been just getting dogged, since the Final Testament came back. Even Karrion Kross told him, "Hey, You're only in WrestleMania, Bobby, because of me. You should thank me. Ha ha ha.
Mhm.
And this was another match that could have been just okay, boom, they win, cool, ha ha, and been boring. But you gave it so many elements that worked in favor of the match. Tables, your guest referee, guest commentator, everyone in the faction outside of the old man getting involved. You know, you gave B-Fab and Scarlett a WrestleMania moment. When the hell has B-Fab ever had a
Scarlett alive?
WrestleMania moment?
That part,
Do we know
the
if
fact
she's
that you got
moving?
B-Fab involved.
Yeah, you
That
got
part.
B-Fab having her own WrestleMania moment, taking out
You say
Scarlett,
the last
going on the
surviving
table.
member of Top Row. The
Right.
The
Yeah.
last surviving member.
Surviving member. Like even Ashanti, he's supposed to be with Cedric, but they ain't done nothing with it yet.
Right.
So it's the fact that she's there, she's having her moment, and you know, the Profits once again back to WrestleMania. I love seeing them in that environment. They earned it, and they win. Lashley again having his chance to get back into it. Even though there's no championship stuff involved, this was still a fun and inventive match. And then going forward, I hope they obviously we talked last week about, you know, I am a heavy proponent for Montez Ford going solo. I will say it until the day it happens or until the day I die. Obviously, it's not going to happen anytime soon.
We'll
but
save
I want
it for when Seth is fully healthy again.
Yeah, I want it.
Okay. Let me. I'm gonna quickly sum this up in 60 seconds or less.
Mm-hmm.
Montez Ford is a future WWE champion. He is.
Yes.
I feel bad at the time that it happens, unless Dawkins proves that he can stand on his own as a singles competitor.
Mm-hmm.
I feel he's going to get lost.
I agree, which sucks because he's good, but you know I definitely agree.
Because that's where I am on that. It's like for me, it's like if you allow this opportunity to pass you by,
yeah.
I mean, because Ford has proven time and time again the man is a character, but
yes.
I'm concerned. That's all I can say about Dawkins.
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
And again, you know, it's to that fact, you know, if the faction decides to break up or something happens between him and Dawkins, Ford can go on his own. And if you feel like Dawkins' strength isn't with Solo, he could stay with the Pride. He could stay with Bobby. He could stay with B-Fab, or even just have him and B-Fab. There's ways you can do it to where you know, if his strength isn't Solo, he can be with somebody. And I hate to even pull them apart, but Tez is just he is so charismatic, and it'll be good to push for a new African American champion. Going forward. And then we talked about power couples, you know, wanting Seth and Becky to have 2 belts. Having pretty much the real power couple right now in WWE being Bianca and Montez, having them at one point in their careers both have belts, both be the person on the brand, would speak volumes of, one, Triple H's trust in them, 2, showcasing their talent, their charisma, their skill. And that's
they already have a reality show together. So
that's something that I want in the future. It ain't gonna be right now. I know it's not gonna be right now, but here it is, 2024. You know, within my next 10 years of watching wrestling, because I'm here, I'm locked in, I'm not going anywhere. That's something I would like to see going forward. And that's just my take on it. Great match. AOP popped in last night on NXT. You know, Nathan Frazier and Axiom won. They're celebrating and didn't even get a chance to really celebrate. They almost got the ATL down under treatment, because as soon as they got them belts, who came a calling? The Final Testament. AOP came to the crowd and said, "Bink, bink, mink, mink, mink. What's up?"
They really did.
And so that's going to be, and honestly, that having the superheroes beat 2 walls like that will even more solidify that they are the top cream of the crop here at NXT going forward. I think that's going to be a great way to have that matchup play out. Let's go ahead and go to the next match.
Sure, which would be my boy. Got to do this by camera wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I,
Yeah,
I tried that. I was like, I'm so used to doing Star Trek, but my fingers ain't working.
it's an E backwards L and then an I. Eli for Eli Drake.
My fingers are just. I gave up. Y'all know what I meant though.
Yeah.
But yeah, LA Knight, yeah, versus AJ Styles. Of course, no belt on the line, but it felt like this had so
Stole the
much.
show.
Yeah,
Man, you want to talk about a crush
bit
match?
AJ Styles on the head.
Yeah. I just want to know what was the conversation literally beforehand, like everything that we're going to do.
Yeah,
That was gonna be my
because
so
they
like
had
AJ
a fight at WWE World, like which was the fan experience that they had, and they had a bloody it ended up with AJ coming out with a bloody nose, which I know we talked about in person throughout the weekend. I don't know if, like we said, it was a happy accident or if this is something that was planned or if LA Knight really does have an issue with AJ Styles. This is what is fantastic with Hunter's storytelling is it blurs the line between kayfabe and real.
Yeah, you
and
can't tell.
I don't know.
Here's how the
me
conversation
insane.
went. Hey, so like Styles. So check it out. So like we're gonna go out there, we're gonna tear it up, right? Yeah, and then also let me talk to you. So during a bit in the match, I'm gonna have you on the top rope, and I'm gonna try to flip you, and then you're gonna hit me. Then I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna bite you. Yeah, and like this, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna bite you, and then you're gonna do my eyes, and then we have a whole thing. That's how it's gonna go. You ready?
But don't worry,
Yeah.
you can get me back because I'll rip up the mat off the floor.
That's how the conversation
You can drop me on the floor.
That's how the conversation went.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, how did y'all have that conversation of, okay, this is what we're doing? Are you sure? Are you sure?
Well, if you talk, saying it like that, go back to how many matches we've seen. I mean, obviously, conversations leading up to these matches, the plans and everything. Look at the TLC matches with Edge, Christian, the Dudleys, and the Hardys. I watched that documentary. They sat in rooms for hours, planning out what they were going to do, how they were going to steal the show, what bumps to take and all this stuff, and they executed it perfectly. So I feel like those conversations that are being had now, that's how I feel like the conversation definitely went with LA Knight and Styles. Styles is not, a bad wrestler by far. He is the phenom. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he's jacked as shit right now. Like I had Nick pull up a picture of him like 2 years ago.
I'll try to see if I can find it.
Like a picture of him then and a picture of him now. And that little break after Solo smashed him against the electrical stuff.
Yeah,
he came back like swole. AJ swole at that point.
Man, that's true.
So and then giving LA Knight someone to
this is him in 2K22.
Yeah,
we can
giving him someone to play off of.
Come on,
who is the caliber of an AJ Styles? It just made it even better with his win. Joe, how you feeling?
I'm good. I'm just listening to you guys.
Do you have any thoughts on it?
No.
Oh yeah, no. I thought it was a good match. They really let me know that LA Knight was very much in theme with Slim Jim. So much Slim Jim everywhere.
And this is this year.
Yeah, I mean AJ is one rip dude. I'll give him that.
Yeah, man.
I still don't know if I like AJ's new music or not.
No,
I
don't.
It's horrible. Hate it.
Like he's like, I'm in a darker place. Like he gave that interview about it. He's like, I'm in a darker place, so I need darker music. Like, do you though?
Yeah. I couldn't play that at the strip club. I can play his regular music at the strip club. I can't play that at the strip club. No, that's just not a thing. Overall, great match. Let's get to the last two.
Yes.
Both
after LA Knight, last three. We have up next is the U.S. Championship Triple Threat. Randy Orton and KO. Of course, Logan Paul wins. I mean, we can kind of keep this one short because it's kind of plain and simple here. Is that
We're
Logan
stuck with
wins.
Logan Paul for another
Yeah,
couple of months.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Randy, I really was pushing for him to win it just because, we all know that his back is killing him still.
Mhm.
But I mean, it was a good match to honestly. I hate
Yeah.
how good Logan Paul is at wrestling.
Yeah.
I show speed. His buddy comes out as the prime bottle, barks at Randy Orton only to get barked back at.
That kick.
No, I legitimately think he said. I think he legitimately said something he was
That
not
pissed
supposed
Randy
to.
off.
Randy did not.
It was.
approve.
I think it was something along the lines of, "Yeah, that's right. Walk the fuck away, step the fuck back." Something along those lines. And that's when Randy turned and snapped.
He kicked the shit out there, man.
It's one thing. It's one thing to kind of play it up to the match, but I'm like, I think he said something that involved a receipt.
Yeah, there's the
He got it.
Or
He got
step
it.
the fuck back.
He got the kick that sent him off his feet, and then the RKO into the table. And we all and we were all sitting there watching, and we were like, "Bro, it'd be hilarious if he just stayed there for the rest of the night." Like
That's
they
a
had to
pretty sturdy
commentate
table
over
as
his
Randy
body.
would say.
Right.
Yeah, KO. Yeah. So, great match. I mean, obviously Logan Paul won. He's showcasing again why he is, a great heel, great, a very adept wrestler compared to his WrestleMania debut.
Yeah.
To now, you can see.
Oh yeah,
how far he's come.
I
Whether you
still
hate
think
whether you hate him or not.
I still think the highlight of his career is the Rumble when him and Ricochet shot off at each other.
Yeah, the coast to coast. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually glad you mentioned Ricochet because there's one thing I need from him and Logan Paul. One, send Ricochet, but not Samantha. Keep Samantha on Raw. Send Ricochet over to Raw, or to SmackDown, or send Logan and the U.S. title over to Raw. I need Ricochet and Logan Paul too. I need that run back. I need Ricochet to get his leg back because Logan Paul embarrassed you in front of your girl. But I need that leg back.
But at the same time, when they were in the match, I mean, let's be honest, Ricochet outshined Paul.
Absolutely.
Outshine Paul to the point to where it's like, oh crap, do we really want to show him off being that good? I'm like, for all those that watch Guerrilla Pro Wrestling in those previous other leagues he was in, yeah, he's always been that good.
He needs a good push, man, and I think a U.S. title run will be good for him. So next I need match. That, and that's a good match, great match, cool. Logan Paul won, yada yada. Let's get to Bayley and EO.
Yes,
because
Bayley wins. Thank you, Jesus.
That was bound to happen. And here's the thing: EO Sky is an amazing wrestler. She is the genius of the Sky. Her bumps she's had, that moment she made at Survivor Series with the trash can will forever be a top moment for her.
Oh dear God!
Yeah. Her reign as champion was nothing.
Yeah.
You barely defended. You had maybe two, maybe 3 matches,
but there was always something there. That's all I was saying. I felt bad for her run because her run equaled up to nothing.
Yeah,
it's like your run was more protected by booking than really the title.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
And again, it's like we know you can wrestle. We've seen you in NXT.
Yeah,
so it's like I almost feel like the handcuffs have been put on there. Like, no, we have to have you win a certain way. We have to have you look a certain way. I'm like, what? Whatever happened to I need no friends? What happened to that girl?
Yeah. But and I think we're gonna get that. Bayley took her title. Damage Control is on the decline. And Bayley, one of the 4 horsewomen, getting gold for the first time in I don't know how long. Basically after her injury.
Yeah.
And now there were 3 wrestlers leading up to WrestleMania and leading up to Stand and Deliver, who I said last week, if they win, congratulations, but karma is going to come for them.
Hard.
We saw it with Roxy. We saw it with Drew. His karma happened within 5 minutes,
Man.
and now we're gonna see it with Bailey. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, Bailey. I am extremely happy for you. I'm sorry the damage control betrayed you. Cool, but you spent the better half of the last 2 years with your crew, taking out the majority of the women on both Raw and SmackDown. Do not think for a second that you are safe as champion. Nah.
But you know the weird part about it is,
What?
it's literally the Uso story. It's literally Jey Uso story all over again. Like you
Yeah.
have to go back to that same hostile women's locker room that you ran with, and you don't have a friend in the world, and now you have the title. Oh yeah, your dance card's about to get really full.
You may have Naomi, but that's going to put her at odds with Bianca and Jay because
they're gonna have that faction between those 3 women. Between those 3 women, that faction better be there. That's all I know.
Yeah, hell, make sure you call them Black Girl Magic, and it'll be a whole thing perfect. The match itself was great. I haven't really looked into it to see what her ring gear was based off of, but coming out in the Egyptian attire and all that stuff, is Bailey Egyptian? I don't know.
I don't know, but the fact that she came out like that, I was like, okay, that's different.
Yeah,
but then again, it did also go with her haircut too, because the haircut, I was like, I had to go back and watch Rhea Ripley when she first saw Bailey's haircut. She's like, bitch. I was like,
yeah, and also real quick, that blue dress she had on at the Hall of Fame.
Damn.
Lord have mercy.
I'm not saying Bailey. I'm not saying it, but I see why they were singing it.
Yeah. So, congratulations to Bailey. I'm interested to see where the story takes her, in her redemption arc. Because she's in her redemption arc now. She has a lot to answer for. And so I'm excited to see what that does. But let's just not hold it. We're here to talk about the main event. Now let me set the scene. It's night 2. It's
hold up.
Damn.
Hold up. I gotta do the intro. Hold on. I don't think you know what I'm doing, but can you still see me?
I can see your
halfway.
Hold on. Yeah, this is as close as I get.
Yeah. So it's night 2. Thanos and his cousin have just beat you and your friends senseless. They won the match, and now your match is bloodline rules. You are going in with the expectation of anything will happen. Not can, it will happen. You have to fight for your life against the entire family now. How are you going to succeed? How are you? This 5 years have passed. You're beaten and broken. How are you going to fix what was taken from you?
You started off with a fucking badass entrance.
You hit that.
You take the helmet, pull it off.
That helmet was made. The helmet was made by the same people the same guy that made Bray's entire mask and all his stuff. So that was really really cool to see. And shout out to I can't think of his name right now, but shout out to that guy who made all of Bray's gear, who made that skull crown mask. It was great. Having Brandy right there by his side. He told us we'd see her, and then but we hadn't seen her, and then boom, she's right there. That was perfect. He comes down, he hits the wall.
She looks at him and
that's
goes,
a dance now.
You finish your story.
Yeah, that's a dance now. Cody hit the wall. Whoa! He comes down and he's just standing there, and then Roman does his entrance, and you are the Mad Titan's cousin. You're basically the Mad Titan himself. You're standing there. This is you. You're walking down the match. You got your wise man by your side. You get into the ring. The energy is palpable. Everyone is cheering. Everyone is like, yeah, this is it. They stand face to face, and they just stand there for a minute. They don't wrestle. They don't have to. They stand there, and you can just feel the energy. Like this is it. Like it's all or nothing. Cody, you have one chance. This is your moment. If you don't take it, you're done. The evil reigns forever. And they start. They're going at it. Roman hits Cody's move. Roman hits
A crossroads.
A crossroads on Cody. He's like, "Oh, that move is trash, man. That didn't even work." And he and the one thing I love in the time that I've been able to see his matches, Roman's ability to talk mad shit during the matches is perfection. It's just perfection. And so he's just going off. He's talking, and but then the momentum hits. It's starting to rise. He hits the bionic elbow on him a couple of times. He hits the drop in the pop and
Cody Cutter.
The Cody Cutter, a disaster kick. He's giving back his worth, and right as he's about to hit the third
crossroads,
you think because if you look, he looked around like, hold on, wait a minute, all right, let's go, and then instead of Solo coming out, it's Jimmy. That's the start. That's the start. Right. So that's your Corvus Glaive coming in, hit you with the glaive. Oh, but who comes out? Here comes Falcon coming down the thing. Yeet. And they fight on the ramp. They're coming. Hey, on your left, Oos. They're coming up, and they're coming up, and they fight on the ramp. And I'm thinking they're just gonna fight to the back. No. This man hit a corner spin spear, going straight to the ramp and then turning, jacked his brother off the side of the ramp. They're done. They ain't getting back up for a minute. Like, oh, damn, okay. What's going to happen now? As Joe said earlier, you have the cameo coming out for Solo. You know, he hits the thing again, and then they both. I'm thinking that he was going to pull Solo into the spear, like Jay did last time. No. Cody takes that spear and spike combination, which is a great move, by the way.
Yeah, fantastic. That was.
And then so now they're standing tall. He puts Roman on top of him. Oh yeah, we're gonna win. No. Solo.
Solo's line to Roman might be the funniest thing in this entire match.
Right.
It might be. Is he finish the story? Get on it, pin him. Right. I know.
Yeah. His facial expressions in his slow turns, like, did this just kick out? Are you what?
Right.
And then he's about to get him again.
And then
you kind of knew, but you didn't really know. Like maybe it could have been Sammy. Maybe it could have been Sammy. Maybe it could have been KO. It could have been one of the other faces at the time. But the fact that it was Solo in the ring, it was John Cena coming out to get his lick back on Solo being the one to shut him up for a while in WWE. That was perfect storytelling. He got his lick back for that. He's hitting moves against them, and then who of course should be the one to take him out. Then the final boss, and the final boss, he's coming out. He down the entire ramp. He's cussing up. He is cussing up a storm. Get the fuck out of my ring. Do it. He is just cussing up a storm. He is just going.
Hits him with the rock bottom after they finally meet. And the once in a lifetime match.
Pop for them
now happened twice.
The pop for them was just ecstatic. It was great.
Yeah.
He hits him with the rock bottom. I wish they had a bit more moment.
Out of the Rock's ring.
Yeah, he hit him, and then you think, okay, well, damn, who's next? Is Rock gonna just go ahead and bing bing on Cody and then hit him? No,
Sierra.
You hit that music, and of course, everyone online on Twitter said, "Oh my God,
is this Moxley? Is this Ambrose? Right. Is he back?"
No, Seth comes out in full Shield gear with the chair. But immediately gets taken out by Roman. So he saves. So he saves his cousin. And Seth, by this point, he is just broken in half. By God, he's just there. He's just there. He's there. They do a team tag on Cody, and they're about to hit it again. And he's about to whip him, and he's just standing there like, I promised Joe Mama.
He's got the
Mama Rhodes that I was gonna give her this belt. With your blood on it, it's time for me to deliver. Dong. The pop for that was
Oh
we
my!
we were at
I
the
was
house
thinking,
just
sitting there,
gassed.
going, "Okay, here comes the."
Yeah, so
Mhm.
we all wanted Stone Cold.
Yeah,
Everyone wanted
they
Stone Cold.
they got us all.
And they swerved us, hit us with the first time the Undertaker has been active in a ring in 6 years. He pops up, and the final boss is just like, man, come on out. And in that moment, you just hear it's memes on that galore. But my favorite that I thought of was Undertaker is looking like, hey, do you remember that time you mocked me during that one promo?
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace. You remember that? Yeah, this is for you. Ha! And the
Time you made me
face,
do the spinneroonie.
the face,
Right.
yeah, that one too. The face that Rock makes, because there's a picture that someone caught on the back half of it. The face he makes when he
Yeah.
gets this joint in the air and
Mhm.
slammed, and then the lights go back out, and
Both of them are gone.
So
The belt's still there.
at this point, you think, where did Undertaker take him? But
To
obviously, take it. They showed it behind the scenes. Taker was literally just like jogging back out to the side. I saw that. I was like, that was
The
great.
Rock was laying on the sideline, like on the
Right.
floor outside the ring.
Yeah. So now the stage is empty. You've had your gimmicks. You've had your cameos. You know, we're in
Cody's
full,
even taken some of the Roman's moves and
Yeah.
given him like
Full
2 or 3
4.
spears.
He hit a
Mhm.
spear, which I was like, yeah, if Roman hit his move, he has to hit a spear on Roman. He hit it. It was great.
He hit a second spear through the barricade.
Through the barrier, yeah.
Then he pulls him in the ring, and Seth is there. Cody, I think he hit Cody with a drive-by or something like that, or something. And he puts him in the ring. And Cody's just there. He's trying to get up. Seth is in the ring. He's trying to get up.
He grabs the chair
Roman
away from
grabs the chair.
Cody.
Yeah.
And he looks at it. And
looks at Cody.
He has the chance to end the match right here. He has a chance to finish the story forever, end it.
Takes a step towards Cody, but then
what does
pauses.
he do? What does he do? He looks. He
Mhm.
turns back to Seth, and you could think in his mind, he's just remembering 10 years ago to the day, the moment that he took a chair from the
There's
man that's in the
always a
ring
plan
right
B.
now.
Mhm.
And instead of ending the match, instead of solidifying his reign forever, he goes for revenge. And that moment there, that is a nexus point right there. The watcher is down watching. That's it.
Yeah.
That is it. He hits Seth. Seth is still broken in half. By God, he drops the chair. Cody gets him. Then he's got him in the lock.
He
He's got one.
He blocks the
He blocks
the
the spear
with a knee to the face.
and then he catches him. He's got one crossroads, two crossroads,
and then you
3
hear
crossroads.
you hear Paul Heyman before the third one. No!
The pop is anatomy. Everyone is on their feet, just screaming. It's energy. It's there, and he hits the third crossroads.
You
1,
know it's
2,
over.
Yeah.
3. Everyone loses their shit. We're down in the basement of Phil's house, just and oh my God, like that match.
They gave him the Dusty treatment of running out, carrying him, putting him on their shoulders. Paul coming out and giving him a nice long little speech. Of course, after the match, we find out Paul and some of the guys backstage bought him the exact type, model, and year watch Dusty pawned. I mean, it all is perfect.
You finish the story, but instead of just doing it half-assed, instead of just giving it to him, you do it in such a beautiful way.
Mama Rhodes comes out. He hands her the belt.
And through all the chaos, through all the shenanigans, through losing last year, through getting destroyed by Brock Lesnar, winning the tag, everything that he has dealt with in the last 2 years all came down to that moment, and it was absolutely beautiful. And now Cody Rhodes, He's not our undisputed Universal Champion. No. That's done. He is now the undisputed WWE Champion. He is the face. He is the guy now going forward.
From
Triple H's
from
new
undesirable
Era.
to undeniable to undisputed.
Yep.
And man, just Will, talk to me, man. How'd that make you feel when you was watching it, bro?
I was like, if there was ever a time that Triple H said fire everything, that was a fire everything moment.
Yeah.
And it was really done in such rapid succession that it kept pulling you in. And again, I would have been surprised, although they said that WWE did not reach out to Moxley or to AEW to see if Moxley could be a part of this. I kind of wanted the what if scenario if he actually would have done it. Yeah. But that one moment of hearing the Shield music and I was like, nobody was thinking Rollins.
I was thinking Dustin was going to come out at some point. He was there. He was in a box way up.
Yeah.
But I wish that rumor was
Seth
true.
was going to come out, but we didn't know it was going to be to that. We just think, bring it down, running down or limping down.
Yeah, you expected something, but we didn't expect Moxley. Moxley was we didn't expect that to where he comes out and again, it's long story booking. I'll be your Shield. I'm basically showing Roman that hey, the reason why the Shield broke up is because I was the first person to hit you with the chair. And who knew? Fast forward that when you see
10 years, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the mind games.
Thing. Yeah,
that's the thing though, is that a lot of people are just saying like, oh, he came out of that to mess with Roman or whatever. You got to think also the fact though is like you said, I told Cody I would be his Shield. And he was. That promise was fulfilled. He took the chair to the back in his Shield uniform.
Seth Rollins sacrificed everything.
His WrestleMania.
Seth Rollins held the gauntlet up with all Infinity Stones and snapped and sacrificed everything for Cody to be the guy now. And that goes into what I was saying earlier. Because he is broken in half by God, he needs a break.
Yes.
He is deserving
to take a break. They said that. But he also only has, I think, 2 months or a month left on his contract. Yeah. So I'm hoping he resigns.
He's gonna resign because right now Raw and SmackDown and NXT are in the purpose of rebuilding again. Your 4 to 5 year plan needs restructuring. And like we said, the person who shall not be named has caused you to do this. You have to do the draft again. You have to reshuffle the deck as far as your rosters. You have to probably consider new things like, again, bring back the Cruiserweight title. I'm just saying you could bring it back, and that's a whole other division. But ultimately, all of those things had to be done, and you had to even submit the fact that this is the first PLE of the Triple H era. Yeah, even the intro to WWE changed,
which is gorgeous. I love it. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So doing all of these things and the way they had to culminate this, we are going to see Rollins back. We're probably going to see Lynch back. Will it be in more reduced capacities? Yes, they're parents. They're not going to be like I like to call them. Nobody wants to be Ric Flair. You don't want to have your retirement match and then 6 months later have your last match. And then 4 months later, you're somehow in AEW still hanging around. Not to say that Flair's not taking the match, but we just saw at another show, Sting was in his 60s taking bumps. Even he knew when to hang it up. So do I think that Lynch and Rollins will probably get this de-escalation of whether because they've done everything. Lynch has been the women's champion. Seth has been the Universal Champion. I don't think he's ever been WWE Champion. I don't think he's ever been WWE Champion. Now I think, I think he's only been Universal and World Heavyweight. So I don't know. So again, but they've done enough to where now newer talent has to step in to where they can take a step back and put others over. That's bound to happen.
Yeah, I don't even think CM Punk's run is going to be that long. Like he'll have his matches and everything. But I don't think he's going to be involved as much because he understands the point of having these new talented people being lifted up. Now he'll help put people over. Yes, he will.
Yeah.
But with Seth not being there, that whole rivalry being pretty much shelved for right now. Him doing his thing with Drew, which I don't think it'll last for a little bit, but they won't play it out long.
Right.
And so
Right.
I believe going forward in this new era. First of all, having not watched for 20 years, barely remembering like most things for, like I remember my favorite wrestlers. Cool. I remember being sad when Eddie Guerrero died. I remember that, and then I think around that time is when I stopped. Now that I'm back in, like I said earlier, I'm locked in. I love fandom. I have my different fandoms and all that stuff, but wrestling just gives me something different.
Yeah.
I just lost Power Rangers. Power Rangers is gone. 30 years of Power Rangers is out. There's still stuff going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still love it to this day. Yeah. But this wrestling has been able to fill that back up for me, giving me something to love and also being something to experience. Being able to share these experiences, talking to you guys, the little messages, the little memes, tweeting, doing live shows, going to live shows, experiencing my first PLE with Vengeance Day. And just all the fine ass women out there right now, just Lord have mercy. But that aside, like I am happy that I have something now that I can experience along with everyone else.
Right.
I 100% agree.
And now going into this new era, knowing what they've had to deal with, knowing the behind the scenes, knowing what he who should not be named has done, what he did, and you can't take it from him. We wouldn't have any of this if it wasn't for him. That being said, stay away. It's a new era. It's a new era now. Brand new day. One story has finished.
Which, speaking of that story, to go back on that, to go back on Cody real quick. I know we said obviously we were talking about Infinity War and Endgame, and I mentioned Star Wars. So what I saw was a tweet that kind of said, Cody's story isn't Avengers, it's Star Wars. And I was like, what? And then I looked at it, what they were detailing, and it made sense. I think it's both. I think it's a mixture of both. But you look at the last three WrestleManias. Yeah. WrestleMania 38 is Cody's A New Hope. He returns home. He comes out. He beats Seth Rollins. Welcome back. Then you have 39. That's his Empire Strikes Back. He loses to Roman. Okay. All is lost. Now what? How do you go another full year working your way every day until you can get back to the point where I'm going after Roman again? You win the Royal Rumble. You get up to the point where there's things in the way now, but you get up to the point where you fight Roman again.
Yeah.
That's your Return of the Jedi.
Fair.
I definitely see it now, man. That's beautiful to put that analogy. And like I said, it's been a beautiful story, a beautiful ride, and I feel like I'm better for it, having been able to experience it. If I had just not watched, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about this. I wouldn't be sitting here, reliving old moments of me going to wrestling with my cousin, and then coming back and taking my nephew. And I wouldn't have these moments and these experiences. I wouldn't have something that's bringing me joy back. Adding more joy into my life, giving me something that just allows me to be happy. And wrestling, it makes me happy. Sharing these experiences with you guys makes me happy. And I wouldn't have that if it wasn't for being locked in and watching Cody and watching his story. So his story is my story. And I actually plan on making a video about that soon, but detailing, because I wouldn't be here watching if I hadn't been locked in from that massive grievous injury. I didn't even watch WrestleMania 38. I missed that wholly, but I know he had just got back, and to see that injury, to see him be out and be built up and come back in the Royal in 2023, and that story, then I was locked in, and I wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for that. So I'm grateful to Cody. Like, I'm grateful, and I'm sitting there tearing up. Like, yeah, I'm happy because I've been on this ride with him.
Yeah.
And so here we are, new era, new champions all around. There's a lot more to say, which we'll do in separate videos and all that stuff. But overall, this weekend, the 5-day event, even since last Monday to last night, everything has been absolutely amazing.
Joe, do you have any comments on the Cody story and the main event?
No, it was all very, very enjoyable. I had a great time with everybody, as I always do. It was wonderful getting to do it with you guys. Hold on, choking on cake.
I wish I had cake. I'm just choking.
I was like, I'm gonna need you to drink some water, Shadow.
Oh god.
There it goes. No, like I said, it was just very, very fun. I look forward to seeing where this goes when I watch pay-per-view to pay-per-view, because my life is a literal tornado all through April, so I'm behind on everything at the moment. I don't think I'll be able to watch any of SmackDown or Raw for a while. No, it was just fun all around. I enjoyed the shenanigans. I understand why Steve Austin did not come out, because I feel like, and we discussed this at Phil's, I feel if Steve Austin came out, it would have overshadowed Cody completely.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Taker is the locker room guy.
Yeah.
Him coming out to usher Cody into the new era gives him
I mean, it's not
the
like
locker
Taker
room.
doesn't have a long extended history with The Rock either. It's just
Right.
With the whole family.
When you think The Rock, you think The Rock, you think Stone Cold for Arch Enemy.
Yeah.
Even though that's not the case. It's supposed to be Triple H versus The Rock, but
Yeah.
Oh god, if Triple H had come out, that would have been gas, bro.
But Paul can't do these things anymore.
He can't.
Multiple times. It's like, mentally, I'm always ready. Physically, not a chance in hell.
He was on the Pat McAfee show, and they were like, "One more match," and the whole place was chanting it in WWE world. And he looked at Pat, and he's like, "They want me to die."
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
It's like, I had a heart issue.
Yeah.
I cannot do this anymore.
Well, Joe, if you I know you can't watch weekly, but if you want to peep out my new series, so I'll be doing mini casts on just topics throughout the week and throughout the month, where I'm going to incorporate wrestling now into my content, where I just talk about what happened on the program from that certain week or that certain month, detailing all the matches, what changed, what didn't. So if you want to catch up that way before PLE, that's a way you could do it. And of course, when you talk to us, we'll tell you. Wrestling is
all cranked up.
Yeah, wrestling is definitely going to be a part of my makeup now going forward. This podcast itself, these two, part 1 and part 2, is a revival of my fandom podcast. I have my Ranger Rocks podcast. Me and Joe are part of that. But this is my revival of my fandom podcast. It's it won't always be wrestling. We may do another pre and post show for other PLEs, or just do one show for each. But this is just such a big event that I had to do a part 1 and part 2, because so much was going to change. So much did change. And now going forward, we have a lot more to look forward to. And
Which,
I can't
breaking news, by the way, from earlier today, I just saw Matt Hardy's contract in AEW starting today is officially over.
Yep. So
yeah, I saw that earlier. So, and stuff like that. Now, I won't be doing news or breakdowns, stuff like that. I just don't have the schedule for it.
I totally get that.
But I will be just talking about the shows and what I liked, what I didn't like, what I'm interested to see going forward. Like I said, we'll try to do at least one show per PLE going forward. I'm still working on my new schedule for this particular show itself.
And not to promise anything, I might be able to pull some strings and get a couple guests here or there.
There we go. Nice. So
no promises.
Yeah, but
we all know schedules are crazy. So
yeah, I'm just grateful for it right now. So I guess guys, I can't thank you enough for being here. I thank Tony for being here last week. That being said, I gotta get ready to go to work. I got to shower. So great weekend, great podcast. 3 hours again. How? But no, it's still honestly it just goes to show how much we love talking about this. And once I get a better schedule, once we get a bit more thing going, I don't mind doing 3 hours because that's just part of what we do. And we can spend 3 hours talking about wrestling. I can spend more than 3 hours talking about Power Rangers. And there's so many other stuff. And then right now, Monsterverse is hella hot. I'm planning to do a video on Monsterverse because Godzilla. It's funny. Before WrestleMania weekend, I had said that I saw the best tag team match of all time with great storytelling, because before that tag team match even happened, Godzilla suplexed the ever living shit out of Kong. So yeah,
Team Zilla, baby.
Great storytelling. Team Zilla all day, every day. But yeah, no, guys.
I'm Team Zilla, but I'm a different tag partner.
Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on Twitch, if you're watching on YouTube, you're watching on Facebook, I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you all for really appreciating for giving me the watches. I know small watches, small views. I don't even care at this point. I just want to make this content. I want to do it and enjoy what I do and enjoy talking about what I'm talking about. And I can't thank everyone enough, those involved and those watching. That being said, we'll start at the bottom and go up. Start with Black Spartan.
Yep, Black Spartan. Of course, you can find me, Black_Spartan615 on the socials. Pretty much like we usually do here. Of course, 2 of my shows, How the Frack We Got Here, every Wednesday, a little bit later tonight at 9 p.m. Of course, every Friday, me and Show Guy Joe will be on Give It Podcast this Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time. Podcast can be seen wherever podcast can be seen or heard. Definitely check us out.
All right, Joe.
Yep, we'll be here next Friday. I may be a little late. I got stuff I got to do, but we will definitely be covering everything that's ever happened this week, nerd-wise, which I need to watch as soon as we finish this podcast.
Yeah, go watch Get Bit Podcast. Go check them out. They are amazing. I've been a guest on there several times. I really appreciate it. It's always fun, always talking about this good stuff with them. Go watch Get Bit. Go watch How the Frack We Got Here. They'll be in the description box below. Go check them out.
As for me, Show Guy Joe, I opened a Tokusatsu channel a little bit behind this month just because of shenanigans and stuff and trying to learn how to edit video on my own, which I have no idea how I'd do that. I may need to bother somebody here about that in a bit, but it may be
I got you.
Okay, well that helps too. As I watch and review all of Bakage Sentai Boom Boonger,
Boom boom.
the Megazord back here,
Nice.
that right there, that'll go boom 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 if I hit the accelerated pedal. Not that one over there though. Trying to aim backwards behind me. That one's a different entire card theme Sentai. Other than that, Joe Italian last name on Twitch, even though I'm not quite using that right now just because I just don't have time to stream anything.
Yeah, Sam.
Even though I'm still destroying people in Tekken and getting destroyed.
Y'all heard what he said. Y'all heard what he said.
Step up.
Step up.
Oh no, the videos are there. They can. I was streaming for an hour and a half almost a night, most nights on Tekken. You can see me win and lose. I do not care. I'm just thankful we don't have voice chat on that thing because I don't like hearing and listen to 5-year-olds.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I feel that. And the guy to my left.
And I am Casually Cosplaying. You can find me on pretty much any social media with the full name, Casually Cosplaying, no spaces. I think Twitter kind of has capped space, like in terms of character spaces, so I might be Casually Cosplaying without a G. Something will play around with it. You'll find me. It's gonna have that logo or knit fingers.
There we go.
That guy. There you go. That logo is pretty much on all of my social media. So TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. I need to get back into at some point. Maybe we'll see. YouTube also I haven't touched in at least over a year. So, but yeah, that's pretty much everything on my end.
Hi, I'm Jeff. No, I'm Shadow King.
My name's Jeff.
I am He Who Rules the Shadows, and this is He Who Rules the Shadows podcast. A multi-fandom podcast, episodes preferably twice a month, depending on schedule wise. towards the end of the month, we just talk about everything that happened in the month or specific topics. I hope to have a couple of guests coming on. I've already talked to a good friend of mine, Jason Marsden. He's already agreed to be on sometime soon. So I am slowly rolling this out. More content coming on this channel. More content coming on my main channel, Shadowverse Comics. You can find both Shadowverse content and creators content on the thing about my name, Shadow Creators Entertainment. If you like Spice, then check out Shadow After Dark. That's a whole thing. I won't say much here, but if you like Spice, that's where you want to go.
If you're of age.
Go there now. Yeah. 18 and plus, though. You got to be 18, though. Yeah.
Better not bring your kids.
If you do, I'm going to shoot you. Anyway, that's it for this. Thanks for watching, guys. I literally got to get up and take a shower now. Got to go to work. This was fun. Let's do it again. And as always, I always say, may the power protect you. May the force be with you. And have the best day possible. Peace. And cut.